All right, I think I'm live. What's up? It's me. How's it going, buddy? So today we've got sightings. I may be back this afternoon with something. It just depends whether I can get my playlist put together to my liking or not. But tomorrow will be XPW. Well, actually, it kicks off 2 straight mornings of wrestling. We'll have XPW in the morning. We'll continue JCW on Wednesday. Thursday, we're returning to primetime with George Dorunda. Friday will be Memphis Wrestling, and if you remember, we're on hiatus with Boyd Watch Live. What's up, Cody? What's up, Corndog? But all your favorites are still going to be covered, just in a different way. Bethadone and Vinny Slugga will be moved over to clip channels, and then we're going to elevate Clarence and Amanda Love into the live stream, or like video long form deep dive reviews. What's up, Realm Chat? So everybody will still be covered. We're shaking up the situation a little bit. What's up, NCG? But yeah, this morning, I think that's it. I think that's it for news. Although Grace did have an amazing weekend of streaming. The Boyd Observer scored her Sock Girl stream 5 stars, which was pretty impressive. Hey, Hugh Scanlon's in here. Wow. What's up, Hugh Scanlon? So anyway, let's get started. Here is Sightings. I think we're at... Where are we at on this thing? Season 4, episode 6. So we're kind of in the home stretch, but we still have season 4 and season 5 left. What's up, Daninsky? You're here for the terrifying truth. I don't know if we can handle it, man. That old boy's back, the guy with the mustache. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be any Boyd content this weekend will be in the afternoon, but I'm gonna try to fit it in. I'm gonna shuffle up Grace's playlist because her performance over the weekend is definitely, I think, better than what I had lined up.
When Air Force Sergeant Bart Burns tried to speak publicly about a UFO he encountered, he was confined to quarters and shipped out.
They're not going to reward you for
Yes, that's Amanda Love.
reporting an incident like that.
Now, for the first time in over 20 years, he tells Sightings the whole story.
There's nothing I'd ever seen in aviation.
Then, the Batzel family has moved 11 times.
I really like the
because
two
they
of them
want,
together
but because
too,
they're being
as like a
stalked by
dual
spirits.
coverage stream.
3 out of the 4 of us got pushed down.
She's
flight
not a
of stairs
lesbian, though.
by unseen hands.
Can our dreams reveal the future? These women say yes.
Exactly a month after I had this dream, Richard had a massive heart attack and died.
There are a lot of skeptics in the police force.
And in London, those who work with this cop believe he sees crime in a different
Also,
way.
I gotta say, Matt over the weekend it's stuff that's tough to clip because it's like there's shit playing in the background all the time, but like, man, and plus it was all profile picture. No, I don't think anybody cammed up, but like Matt had some great streams over the weekend, including like one where he got into an argument with Ruby, and then he was like, he had like a real like emotional stream that was really good. No, but like I'm just moving things around right now. Yeah, she's not a lesbian. She would be bisexual, if anything, because she's talked about guys before as well.
Welcome to Sightings. I'm Tim White. 3 Army MPs patrolling Hunter Airfield in 1973 see a UFO streak across the base. It's a...
Hold on a second. It's just tough to clip sometimes because there's like that one stream went over 12 hours.
significant event, but not just because of what they saw. The Hunter incident marked the last time any active duty military personnel would be allowed to speak freely to the media about their UFO sightings. After Hunter, the Pentagon slammed the door on speaking out.
Oh, thank you, Jeremy. That's crazy, dude. 14 months. That's wild. I'm really heading toward the waterfall. Already been remonetized for over a year. That's crazy. Also, like, I kind of have to be, I don't know, I kind of got to be mindful too on, I don't want everything to end all at the, well, I don't know, that could be kind of fun too if a bunch of shit ends. If Boyd Madness ends, the Primetime ends, all at the same time.
Among the historic landmarks in and around the graceful southern city of Savannah, Georgia, is Fort Stewart and Hunter Army Airfield. It was here, in the early morning hours of September the 8th, 1973, that a watershed UFO event occurred. The sighting of a brilliant oval craft by military police patrolmen was to be the first in a series of UFO encounters over a number of military bases throughout
Imagine working in the background.
The Hunter event was also significant because it seemed to sound a death knell for the government's open door policy regarding UFOs.
Do you think a single one of those people is an actual employee? What are they processing back there? We got a story of a dog man in Galveston. We need to send somebody down there.
It's 2:30
AG, thanks.
a.m. Specialists 4th Class Bart Burns and Randy Shade are on a routine patrol of the base perimeter. It's easy duty. The base will be closed in just a few weeks, and nearly everyone and
4
everything
pieces of
has been
artwork,
shipped
nice.
out. Suddenly, a bright light catches Sergeant Burns' attention.
Speaking of artwork, have you guys seen the new batch of WWE merch they released recently? It is so obviously AI, it's ridiculous. How this got through, but like there's a really shitty, obviously AI artwork of Roman Reigns, but when you zoom in, like he's cross-eyed in it, and all this shit.
It hovers just above the treetops, then suddenly dives directly at the MP's car.
You been awake for 40 hours? What are you doing?
The craft missed them
Are you part of a sleep study?
by a whisker. Burns' radio transmission to the base dispatcher was picked up by the local media. Their request for interviews were quickly granted, and for 2 days, Burns and Shade's close encounter was front-page news. Granted, and for 2 days, Burns and Shade.
Matt had a whole, speaking of flaps, he had a whole deep dive too, breaking down the different external labia options. UFOs fly, trigger no flap for apathetic gazers here by K. Green.
Shade's close encounter was front-page news. Then, 2 days after the event, the MPs stopped talking. And within 2 weeks, both were transferred.
Ava the G, it looks so bad. And it's like, if you want to use AI art, okay, but like, you're really, I know they don't give a shit, but like, you think they would give a shit to that level, that they would at least be like, hey, listen, before we pump out that AI slop, could you just take a look at it and make sure that Roman Reigns doesn't have one eye going this way and one eye going that way? Could we do that?
Transferred to different bases.
That only tells me one thing. When they can find
You're manic?
these
Hell
MPs
yeah.
to the base and then ship them out after the
I know, like, people in general are down on being manic, but like, I think mania can really lead to some breakthroughs, you know, and get a lot done creatively, especially. But then some people, it's a very negative experience for.
sighting, they were trying to cover that sighting up. Something very spectacular occurred there.
Investigator Lawrence Fawcett has been researching reported UFO intrusions at military bases for over 30 years. He has co-written a book on the subject titled The UFO Cover-Up. A former police lieutenant, Fawcett believes Hunter
I could not believe it, dude. It looks so bad.
was the first in a series of incidents where vocal military personnel were punished.
I've seen this numerous times in other cases where in the
see
beginning
if I can find it.
people involved would begin talking only to be shut up later on or shipped out.
The government
Also, I don't know if
should
it's
have kept
because they're going through that big lawsuit, Suno, but you used to be able to make any kind of music you wanted to. Now they're like super restrictive on lyrics, super restrictive on like styles. It's kind of crazy.
the Hunter UFO safely shrouded in obscurity. But the MPs were not the only people who saw the UFO.
Roman Reigns AI
Savannah News
t-shirt.
Press
Let's see if it
editor
comes
Marcus
up.
Holland was an eyewitness. He reported seeing an oval craft streak across the sky.
Yeah, here we go. The recent release of the WWE Roman Reigns Aura cartoon t-shirt has sparked major online discussion and fan backlash, with many calling out the design for looking clearly AI generated. Despite the stylized, unpolished graphics, that have been criticized across pro wrestling media as lazy AI merch. The official shirt is available on the market for fans. So for wanting this viral item. So now like it's a viral it's so shitty and so like greedy that it becomes a viral item. Like you got to be kidding me. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. There's so many Roman Reigns shirts. It's not bringing it up. Anyway, what a letdown.
I've never seen a plane moving at that type speed, and there's just no plane that could fly that fast. I didn't know.
Does the Mick Foley come with a decapitated ear? No, but there was an earlier man. There was like a Mankind figure that you could pull. It had like tufts of hair that could come out. But yeah, you don't get the ear.
Would be scared or not? I just, I'm saying, I said to myself, you know, could this be a UFO? You know, is that what I'm seeing? But I just had no idea. It just flashed across, went down, and went. To me, it looked like it went down on the backside of Hunter Field, which would have been.
Went down on the backside. Nose aligning.
On September 8th, 1973, Jerry Smith and her son Albert, who was 9 years old at the time, were driving home to Savannah when they both saw the UFO.
As I was driving,
I'm not sure. It's got three different heads.
Up, and I said, "What's the matter?" And just then the car lit up. Oh, I mean, just bright red iridescent lights just lit the car up. And this thing was hovering over, and the colors were going around, and they were all blending in together, and they were very bright. I never saw anything like this.
You can't see the ear.
Never in my whole life.
The hair is like, you can see where you can see like, you know how there's just that kind of that weird looking thing? You can kind of see that, but it's mostly covered up by his hair.
Newspaper articles, eyewitness accounts, and a few brief government documents obtained through the Freedom of Information Act were all that Lawrence Fawcett could uncover about the Hunter incident during more than 20
Lawrence Fawcett?
years of investigation.
Farrah's dad?
Then, in 1995, a sightings researcher made an important discovery. He came across an article in a computer database that led him to former Sergeant
You gotta go get a title change.
Bart Burns. Fawcett had wanted to talk to the long-suffering
I like this guy.
MP for 2 decades, and now, finally, he would get his chance. Burns, now a commercial pilot living in a suburb of Chicago, agreed to a meeting in Savannah.
What did you think it was at that time?
I had no idea what it was. I didn't have a clue.
He's really holding on to that hair because from the front it looks reasonable, but I mean anyone to the side or behind him, the illusion completely falls apart.
I mean, I'd never seen.
Wouldn't you agree?
In a suburb of Chicago.
I mean, come on, bro. Like the front, he's covered. Like he could look okay, but he's like a hidden, like one of those magic eye things. It only works from one very specific angle. Like, come on, dude.
Agreed to a meeting in Savannah.
What did you think it was at that time?
I had no idea what it was.
Hell yeah,
I didn't have a clue.
NCG.
I mean, I'd never seen
NCG is a sovereign citizen.
anything like it before, so I couldn't even compare it to anything.
You know, people don't believe you if you go to tell it. So I really haven't told that story in 20-some years. I just let it go. The first time I even thought about it was when I got a call from you people.
With Fawcett and a sightings investigative team, Bart Burns agreed to return to Hunter Army Airfield and
Yeah, NCG, be like me, smoke weed, watch TV, and drive a registered vehicle.
retrace his route.
This is where we were doing that trolling that night.
What's up, JC?
Actually, we were doing just like this. Same direction and everything. Broke right over these treetops right here. And at this point here, I ducked down and Randy swerved off.
I wouldn't want to work at a place like that because so many, and I'm not saying this is you, Dave, but I just feel like there's this combination of just like the daily like Sisyphean task of dealing with this paperwork and shit, and then you probably get a small percentage of people who show up with all their shit ready, familiar with what to do and know how to do it. There's probably people that are mad at the government, like, oh, whatever governor is the reason I'm paying this much for a license plate or whatever. I would not want to work at the DMV or any government office like that.
And we went off the road right back, probably about where that sign is there. Okay. And
You were heading in this direction.
yeah, this is exactly how, this is this place, this is it.
NCG, you know, you have an ally in this approach in Clarence, because he said that, how are you going to say America's a free country, but then you try to drive, they'll tell you that it's free, but then when you try to drive a car without a driver's license or a valid registration, they're not happy about it. So are we really free?
When I got back up and Randy was screaming, whatever, what was that? What was that?
I don't go into any, I would not want to do any of that stuff. I wouldn't want to work at any DMV.
We noticed the thing was now
Just
down.
it'd be a nightmare for everybody
Senses
involved.
were pretty well heightened at that point. Matter of fact, I think I even had to tell Randy to leave his.
You just want to be able to run and get a hard on?
He didn't know what to do. Nobody really knew what to do. We didn't even know what it was. There's nothing I'd ever seen in aviation. Didn't have wings or.
He can read,
propellers
just kind
or
of
jets.
struggle. He's
The
got
rate
to
of
sound
acceleration
things
was
out.
far too rapid. Absolutely no noise. And about then, the thing just took off, just gone. As we were driving back Perimeter Road back to the base, we weren't sure how everybody else was going to perceive this thing. So we said, well, we'll just tell the truth, and that's all we can do.
Can't be free without
They
laws.
believe us, they believe us, they don't. Hey, what are we going to do?
Taken on its own, the Hunter incident is an isolated case of a military base overflight by a UFO, witnessed by credible, highly trained military observers.
What about the Sisyphean task of documenting Boyd? True.
But in the 2 years...
I told Matt that I wanted to, I was hoping I could find like a place that would do like 3 to 5 minute clips of some of the side characters in Thorpe World, just so that I can know what's going on with them, but I'm not going to watch, you know, a full stream of just like of their side content. And Matt told me to go to this place on BitChute, and I went there, and it's literally just like complete stream archives. Like I'm no better off. Is there anybody that's actually clipping, besides Joe Shabatoni, the Thorpes anymore, or like Thorpe adjacent stuff? I know Ruby was doing it for a while. She came in on her Clips channel thing to get into it with Matt over the weekend.
Following this incident.
And Matt was like, no shit, I'm not even exaggerating, at least 20 to 25 minutes behind the chat at all times. So nothing he was saying was like relevant in the moment. Everyone had already moved on in chat to other topics, and he just kept marching through every comment in order. It was a real like Monty Python sketch.
Hunter became only the first in a series of military base overflights. Between 1973 and 1975,
What's up, Icy Bird?
more than 75 bases were...
Dead Man doesn't clip stuff though. Does he? I thought he just does A-logging. I don't want to hear anybody's thoughts on it. I just want to see like, okay, here's the interesting thing that so-and-so did today. You know what I mean? But I want it to be like 3 to 5 minutes of just of the most keynote shit from the stream.
Reportedly had sightings of UFOs. But we will never have a full accounting of these UFOs.
Well, this is it's kind of a scene here in the chat. Believe it or not, this is the most healthy, functional chat in the sector, in my opinion.
Because of what happened at Hunter Army Airfield.
Soulmate, you know.
Within the structure.
And then Matt had a great promo where he was talking about how like real men cry, and it makes him more alpha because he had cried in the stream, letting out his real feelings, which I agree. What I like about Matt is that it's authentic. Like I don't think Matt could like be performative if he wanted to. I mean, it's you know what I mean.
Of the military and that they're not going to reward you for reporting an incident.
Yeah, like no shade to him or anything, but I think he just is an A-logger. I don't think he does clips. I don't want to sit through A-logging to see like you know what I mean? I just want the good shit.
Like that. It just doesn't behoove anybody to be passing out medals for that one.
Sightings has also located Alexander Murray, the dispatcher who received the original UFO report. Sightings will bring you his interview on a future program. Investigator Larry Fawcett is still trying to locate the second MP
All right,
who
good
witnessed
luck.
the UFO
Good luck, Dave.
alongside Bart Burns. The former MP's name is Randy Shade. And in
Randy
1973,
Shade.
Shade was a Spec 4 at Hunter Army Airfield in Savannah, Georgia.
Next, a London police detective who knows the spirit of the law.
I'm questioning the spirit, and I tend to ask a lot of questions of those that communicate
Yeah, whoo! That was a scene and a half, man, when she did that.
with me.
YouTube tried to and
In
age
Great
gated it.
Britain, psychics have to be licensed.
But I'm
and
sure they
registered.
age gated her video as well.
Among the roster of registered psychics is Keith Charles, a man who believes that he has a sixth sense about where and how a crime has been committed. Charles uses this psychic ability every day in his work. He is the world's only registered psychic police.
Ember was in trying to troll Matt as well, and she's like, oh, she was trying to troll the other people in the chat too. She's like, oh, I wish Jeremy would just do solo streams. All of his content is so good, but then it gets ruined by the Thorpes. And I'm just like, you are the most rage baiting little trad bitch, Ember.
Constable. In metropolitan London, Detective Constable Keith Charles is working his beat. With a badge, a notebook, and what he believes is a supernatural gift, Keith Charles solves crimes for his department's Criminal Investigation Division. After hours, he uses those same powers in a completely different setting.
It is those that are in the spirit world, in heaven.
Oh my God, look at this
that hopefully
outfit.
will communicate with me.
NCG, we're very high on, you know, personal accountability. It actually is more alpha to recognize your Panix Ginseng overage.
And I will pass on those messages that they have to you.
Since he was 8, Charles
Oh, also, just I don't remember if I said I couldn't have said it on a stream because I didn't stream the weekend. I saw F Wood. He's alive. He was in the WCW chat. I tried to make nice with him. I was very polite, very kind. I made a joke. I made an inside joke in chat to let him know, you know, that whatever. And he made a very rude comment in response, and then he wouldn't talk to me after that.
had clairvoyant visions, one which he believes led him to save the life of a drowning friend. He uses his psychic skills in seminars like this one, and on the job, where his uncanny powers of perception were evident.
He won the Masters. That was his green jacket. That's a good one, man.
But he started patrolling the streets of London.
People would come up from all over the world and all over the UK.
Keith Charles, master golfer.
And I would find myself being able to say, I know you. You've got a sister. You've got this, or you live near a church. And they were saying, how do you know this? And I really didn't know, but I was getting information from somewhere.
Charles points out that hard work and diligence drive his investigations, but he's not above asking for otherworldly help in some cases.
There are times when I will be investigating a crime that I've come to a dead end, and then I will look towards the spirit world and say to them, come on, give me a clue.
I don't know if NCG's a flat earther or not.
And sometimes the spirits in Charles's world lead him down a completely unexpected path.
It was a few years ago, whilst working in this district, that in this road here, a man was stabbed to death. We formed a murder squad, and I was one of the officers, and we were asked to suggest the names of possible
Aphrodite, yeah, is a flat earther, yeah.
I linked into Spirit and asked them if they could give me the name of the person responsible, and they did. They
Oi,
gave
give me the name of the person responsible.
Of Ricky. However,
Give me Ricky.
He wasn't responsible for stabbing this man to death, but that same day, he killed a young lady, and later in the week killed another young lady.
Respect from fellow officers wasn't automatic. Charles earned their admiration after a series of startling revelations. Detective Inspector Alan Wilson called Charles in on a murder case after 2,000 hours of police work failed to turn up a suspect.
Our victim had left the
This guy's great. Look how serious he is.
Girl to attack.
This fucking guy, man, he could show up at your door and tell you anything, and I feel like it'd be completely believable. Like he seems very trustworthy. He doesn't seem like he would joke around.
The party had taken a girl to a taxi, had gone to the bank and got some money. None of these details were released, yet Keith knew them somehow. He told us descriptions of people who were in the building. He actually came up with 20 to 25 points, but he came up with information that we've never released.
Did you guys notice that the recent Thorpe tube thumbnails look a lot like one of the do you think Shabatoni's doing the official Thorpe thumbnails? I also noticed that the Thorpes have been changing the thumbnail and titles of videos after the fact. Maybe trying like putting a different title on it, trying to get like another go in the algorithm or something. Because I thought Sock Girls was a great stream title, but then she changed it to like trying to be a foot girl or something.
Even the most skeptical members of a naturally reticent force had to admit Keith Charles
Unfortunately, I just use a sham wow.
had a way of knowing beyond logic and reason.
There were a lot of skeptics on the police force, and when I told my other colleagues about it, even the hairs did stand up at the back of the neck somewhat, yeah.
And Charles was able to turn around a skeptical British press corps, including one journalist who ended up co-writing Keith Charles' autobiography.
I was extremely skeptical, yes. I was originally
Oh my god, that thumbnail,
to me
fantastic. I archived that entire stream too. What a stream that was. I think the foot one was funny because it was such a like it was an obvious, like, it was one of those great Thorpe moments where it was like probably Ben's idea to do to have this sleazy stream, but at the same time it was like perfect long-term storytelling and like an epic dunk on Miss Hayes, which, by the way, I'm thinking about doing an emergency Miss Hayes stream, but I'm going to do it on Twitch just in case she gets antsy again. But I think we need to take a look at that entire hospital arc because it is really strange.
a very good news story. I mean, here you have...
And Matt was like completely bought into it. He was like, "Oh, the Thorpe shouldn't be making fun of her," and da da da. I'm like, "Come on, man."
Had a policeman who was also a psychic. It just had to be a great story. So I followed him around for quite a while after this and found him unbelievably impressive.
OPC Don could be.
I've opened the door here.
This is a very, like, fashionable man. Look at this shirt.
I have the name of James in the spirit world, which doesn't...
Oh,
in his
boy.
public appearances, Charles tries to bridge the gap between this world and the next, reassuring the living that their dead are in good hands.
As a psychic detective, I'm questioning the spirit, and I tend to ask a lot of questions of those that are communicating with me, because I feel if I could give somebody that knowledge and that comfort, knowing that their mum, their dad, brother or son is around them in the spirit world, that their life can...
I think he's just like I think he's soft to women in general. And like he feels like maybe the Thorpes have burned him, but I don't know how anybody could take Miss Hayes like seriously or believe anything she says.
That's fine.
You have had a scar on your knee.
How you doing, Gobbledygook?
Rachel?
Yeah.
Yes? They are aware of this and they are bringing you confirmation that spirit do look
Oh, he's
after.
right.
I now have a grandmother
I do know somebody who's got a letter E in their name.
that links with you.
I have a scar on my knee. I was in a car accident and I've got quite a big scar on my knee, and that's when I realised that it was true and that he was telling the truth. And then when my grandmother came through, I've been waiting for my grandmother to come through and speak to me for a long time.
In 1994, Keith Charles's 20-year-old son
Keith
Matt
Charles,
was killed
man.
suddenly.
What's up, crew? Can we get an expose on Keith Charles, crew?
And Charles says he had a life-changing communication with his son.
What I've learned from it is that it makes me more determined as a medium to be as genuine and sincere as you can, because I've lost somebody to be
He's
as
got
genuine.
perfectly sculpted eyebrows. This guy really put a lot of work into appearing on camera. He's got some makeup on. You can see, look. Either that or he was wearing a mask of some type. No, he's definitely got makeup on. So he's got makeup on. He's got his eyebrows on fleek.
And sincere as you can.
This is a true professional.
Because I've lost somebody close to me, and I know what it means.
These two guys went into the barber and just asked for the for the switcheroo.
And I find
they're like the
nice and
complete
comforting
opposite
that Matthew can
bang
come and help
styles.
me. He wanted to work with me in the physical. Now he's working with me in the spiritual, and I say thank you to him for that, because it's lovely.
His life is a balancing act between.
Like I said, there's probably only 2 or 3 people left from the Twitch days.
Faith in otherworldly.
Those people, the Twitch people, gave up immediately. They hated the Grace stuff. They didn't understand it. They wanted me to play like Gears of War or Skyrim.
Forces and the cold reality of the streets.
It's a challenge every day. I enjoy.
Oh, I know. It just sucks because like I understand why they fall for it, and the fact that they're in that state of mind makes me even more sympathetic to them, but it's just so dumb to think that this clown has a, this clown pocket has a voice, it can pierce the veil.
I enjoy my work as a medium. I enjoy my work as a policeman, and I'm very thankful
Switcho
that I'm able
changer.
to do both, and that I've been given the opportunity to do both, and I love both of them.
In the United States, few police officers will work with psychics.
Yeah, Twitch is still around. I stream over there every once in a while if it's something that's kind of like I wouldn't do the Miss Hayes stream over here because it's not going to be a chill stream. So we need to do it over on Twitch, but Twitch, if you want to go on and do debates or ideology, is a very restrictive place. But as far as like pretty much anything else, it's much more wide open than YouTube is. But discoverability is, nothing.
Let alone entertain the possibility that they may be psychic themselves. And yet words like blue sense and a cop's intuition are common. Is there really a difference in ability, or is the difference in name only?
Next, what you need to know to investigate UFO sightings. And meditation enters the workplace.
ATF, I'm sorry, I missed your comment because I was looking at this wonderful biography of Keith Charles from Crew. He's a co-founder of the Secular Humanist Society of New York. He served as the first president of the Secular Humanist Society. Wow. He's way up there in the... Oh my God. Did she get out of the mental hospital? I think so. Yeah. I'm wanting to do I want to do a review of all the hospital streams.
To help the bottom line.
Here are some of the stories Sightings is following in the news. MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, headquartered in Seguin, Texas.
Oh, but ATF beat if you want an update on Grace. Speaking of Miss Hayes, Grace did give a shout out to my long-running feud with Miss Hayes. And she sang a song for me, and everybody loved the song. Her voice was perfect when she sang Heat Above.
Has published a new field manual to assist would-be UFO.
And Daninsky, were you in there when she sang the song for me, and then she was like, I'm done singing, and that guy kept sending her money to get her to sing, and she was just completely no-selling him?
The Mutual UFO Network, headquartered in Seguin, Texas, is home to the
I don't know. I haven't watched them yet.
largest grassroots organization in the world devoted to the study of UFOs.
I just clicked on them to see what they were, and I was like, yeah, I knew immediately it was something I wanted to review.
Driving force behind the organization is its legion of volunteer field investigators.
At the present time, we have over 1,000 field investigators that go out and interview people that have
What's up, Go Hogs? Now, this guy's got a neat hairstyle. I thought like kind of Elon-esque.
sightings. Obtain the data, the facts, any material.
What's this neat shit behind him here? I thought it was a jukebox at first.
Evidence and so forth.
Every MUFON investigator is given a field investigator's manual, a step-by-step guide designed to help them document UFO sightings in their area. The guide offers practical advice about interviewing eyewitnesses and how to determine a UFO's dimensions and trajectory. David Spencer is MUFON.
The last I knew, Matt was talking about Jeremy was going to go meet up with King, but then somebody in the chat, I think, said that had never been that wasn't the case.
Deputy
It wasn't
Director
going to
of
happen.
Investigations.
I'm trying to put out a method that people can train themselves, that people can train others in investigating.
Spencer wrote the UFO Field
What is it
Investigators
called?
Training
The
Guide, a study course designed to help field investigators
Humanist
pass MUFON's
Secular
entrance
Society?
examination. He is also creating a database to
You guys
catalog
want to
every
join?
reported
We can
sighting.
do
a project MUFON believes
we
will
can
help
take
them
it down
solve
from the
mystery
inside.
of unidentified flying
Human
objects.
Secular Society.
In South Korea, volunteer forces are trying to get rid of something left behind after World War II. Not landmines or bombs, but the remnants of a curse.
The first
based on
thing
the
that came
belief
up
of
with
force
was
called
Andrew
feng
Wilson.
shui.
It is a system according to which good and bad places are in space
I
are
don't
determined.
see like an
by
I don't see like an
how
official account for whatever that place is. I was hoping they had like a here's an organization called Secular Rising USA. They just did a stream 5 days ago about parasocial relationships. 57 views. I'm gonna subscribe to them. I'm gonna get involved with them.
male and female
We're gonna get to
elements
the
stand
bottom
to
of whatever this human secular society is.
each other at sites where the country's energy was supposed to come out of the earth.
50 years ago, at specific sites throughout South Korea,
But gobbledygook, how do we know that what we're seeing is real? Because Jeremy says that everything that happens on camera he's in full control of, and it's all part of the game, and he's pulling the strings. Like what changed, I guess.
Retreating Japanese army drove thousands of metal stakes like this one into the earth.
And they did that in order to disrupt the
Oh, hey Vinny, what's up, man? You have a play at the Metropolis Performing Arts Center tonight. Are we gonna get can we get a walking into the venue video, Vinny?
harmony that is necessary for.
Oh man, you know what would be fucking Kino, Vinny, is if you made a video going in, and then you made a video coming out, and then get Big John to tell us what he thought about the show if he's going.
The orderly conduct of a nation.
Sorry for cursing, Vinny.
It was a final act of revenge.
Tell your dad I didn't mean to curse. I'm on a lot of drugs.
Japanese implanted these stakes to forever poison the earth of Korea. They hoped it would prevent the Koreans
I can't afford to go. I can't afford an East Coast vacation, unfortunately.
from recovering after the war.
Since many Koreans are beginning to think again in terms of feng shui, to them it means removing the last vestiges.
In fact, when I brought up the thing about Jeremy, of him saying that he's always in control, he's running the game, it's all an illusion, I brought up that, like, how are we to know when we're supposed to take him seriously then? And he took that as a compliment and was talking to King TL saying, like, yeah, Mark doesn't even know, like, when it's real and when it isn't. So, like, that doesn't seem like he's genuinely upset.
Of the Japanese occupation, and also to make sure that Korea will continue to prosper.
If I get into the humanist meetings, that's like no, that's not true, is it? They're not that level of, like, secret, are they?
In Pacific Palisades, California, Toby and Fred Weissman are the co-directors of the Maharishi Vedic School.
I'll get drunk and call in on join their panel, the human, what was it called? Secular Rising US.
And Transcendental Meditation.
Everybody give them a sub, and I'll go up on panel next time they're live.
Both have been trained by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who introduced Transcendental Meditation, or TM, to the West 35 years ago. Now, TM is being taught to major corporations all over the world.
The analogy we use is that a wise gardener doesn't water every leaf on the tree.
But you know where I'm coming from, though, right, gobbledygook? Like, you know, get free. I wish I could go, man.
Instead, he waters the root, and then all aspects of the tree flourish.
In Woodland Hills, California, Paul Werland is an
This guy's
engineer
great.
and the president of Real Estate Development Service. Werland has practiced Transcendental
Werland,
Meditation for 20
okay.
years.
It's probably been my single most effective management tool, in that not only does it create
And this
greater
guy.
focus and capability of solving problems.
What an absolute classic gentleman this guy is, man. ATF is going to get grinded on. Oh my gosh, did you guys see that the ring rat is in Hannibal's movie, which we should watch on here sometime? Look at this guy though, man. It's such a weird what a weird guy. What a neat guy.
For myself personally, but because
me personally,
I pay my employees to meditate on company time, I find that it creates a similar quality in their thinking.
Werlin's meditation policy is strictly voluntary. He offers to pay 50% of each employee's TM training fee and 100% if they decide meditation is not for them. So far, 80% of Werlin's employees are practicing meditation.
I never knew that people meditate before I came.
Hello, my name Vladimir Garfunkel. Give me a break. Who's coming up with these names? Hello, I work for Real Estate Develop Services. I'm Vladimir Garfunkel.
This company, and I noticed that people in this company are very calm. They are very concentrated, and when they work, and there is no friction between people.
Studies conducted in the United States, Europe, and Japan show that major companies who have used meditation have increased productivity, reduced absenteeism, and an improvement in the physical and mental health of employees. Paul Werlin claims that his profits have doubled. We'll have more stories from the news next time. Now, here's what's coming up on Sightings.
Claire Sylvia dreamed a death that saved her life.
Whoa, this is 47. Oh, are they an hour long now?
Batzels have been on the move, trying to outrun a stalking spirit.
Some people have become very frightened of us and are no longer our friends.
Some people have become very frightened of us.
Many researchers who study sleep and dreaming have come to believe that dreams are images created by the brain in random bursts. And to ascribe any meaning to these unconnected images is nothing more than a parlor game.
That's because I'm a sociopath, Corndog. I'm a skilled mirrorer.
Or an outdated mode of psychoanalysis. But anyone who's ever had a dream, and that's all of us, has experienced the feeling that these images, anyone who's ever had a dream, and that's all of us,
don't say that. What an assumption on his part.
But anyone who's ever had a dream, and that's all of us, has experienced the feeling that these images must mean something. The brain must be sending us a message.
What should be done, though? What's the solution, Gobbledygook? If he's not mentally fit to be allowed internet access, then who should step in and remove that access? And if he does have access and he's like severely antagonizing people and saying really dark racist stuff on live streams, like, sure, he at the end of the day can say like, oh, it was a prank, bro, but like, not everybody's going to see that as a prank or see it as funny. Some people might get really mad about it. And like, are they to just be like, oh, well, I guess this, you know, like some people are going to take offense to the way that he behaves. So like, what do? Do you put the pressure on the people that are on like on YouTube, or do you put it on Jeremy himself or whoever his caretaker is? Like, what's the solution?
A couple weeks ago where I was at work and I was naked and I didn't even care. I had a dream that where I was flying and the plane crashed into a large lake.
I'm late for an appointment, so I'm going to go by taxi. While sitting there in business
So, Gobbledygooker, you genuinely feel like that Jeremy should not be allowed to be on the internet? You think what he's doing is like, you don't think this is all an act, and that like, because he talks about like, oh, we're workshopping something, we're, you know, and we all know that, you know, that kind of stuff happens, but a lot of people don't openly talk about it. Or do you think he's talking about it because he wants to build the frame of his narrative, you know? But like, you genuinely don't think he should be allowed to be online?
I discover I'm wearing bedroom slippers.
We have many images.
Oh my God, Dr. Stanley Krippner?
and the brain turns these images into
God, look at this. This looks like something Methadone Clinic would have up.
stories.
The mind is a traveler, carrying us away to a different place,
Beautiful
a different time, bending
phrase.
and reshaping reality. It is the secret world of dreaming. And while science may have discovered how we dream, they still don't know why we dream.
We have to realize that dreams are us. They're an expanded dimension
Was that recent, ATF? The new, is that a new interview?
of who we are.
If it's a new one, we should watch it when we're done with Sightings.
This is a level of consciousness like none other that everybody has access to.
Dr. Carrie
Dreams
Howard?
have been
Okay.
valued for centuries as a source of insight, guidance, and even prophecy. While they sometimes have the power to frighten us,
Why'd they
can
show
also
the Asian
inspire
woman when they said ancient prophecy?
Sometimes the ideas
Oh,
and
boy.
the concepts we have when we are dreaming
He looks like a young version of the tall man from Phantasm.
are just as
Like, imagine a time when this was a socially acceptable haircut. Like,
useful or even better than what we have during wakefulness. Robert Louis Stevenson would go to his
it was Art Freak Productions, yeah. Well, it's gobbledygook. I don't think you're saying Jeremy should be arrested, right? You're just saying that, like, you think that this is a case where being online is causing harm to himself, and so for his own betterment, then he should be legally compelled to not be online.
his dreams for short stories. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde came to him in a dream. Mozart had dreams about his compositions.
Everybody dreams, but some people sleep so heavily
Betty Bethards.
they don't get a recall.
Man, she's got a really... Look at this lady's vibe. She's like, I'm just going to cop a squat, sit Native American style in front of this beautiful rolling hill.
Heavily, they don't get a recall.
Angus
Therapist Betty
Scrim-Maxing,
Bethards
yes.
became interested in dreams and their meaning after she herself had a series of prophetic visions following a near-death experience.
When you start listening and working with dreams, more and more
Isn't the point of contention really in this that people feel like some viewers brought Jeremy's personal life into his content beyond what Jeremy had wanted, but then I think the response to it was like, I don't know. I don't remember what the response was, but I know that there were some people who were saying that, like, Jeremy was saying things that were, like, in their opinion, beyond the pale or whatever. And so he was, like, harming himself because he's attracting all of this negative attention. I don't know.
teachers come to you and they'll show you exactly what you're doing wrong, but they do it symbolically. If you take your dreams literally, they don't make any sense, but the symbolism does.
Carol Bianco sought out Betty Bethards for assistance in
Betty Bethards, what a badass, carrying her cat around in her personal orchard.
interpreting her dreams. Carol had become concerned after her dreams took on ominous overtones that she
She's like, please, follow me to the orchard.
did not understand. Then one strange dream began taking over her waking hours as well. Carol could not interpret the connection between
Cowgirl trad.
the key images in the dream, her deceased sister and brother-in-law, and her boyfriend Richard.
Dream happened over at my sister and brother-in-law's house, and I was looking out at the property below when I spotted Richard, the man that I loved and had been living with for 8 years. And I thought to myself, that's funny, what's he doing
Oh,
there?
no.
And so I followed him.
Betty Bethards has passed away. Rest in peace, Queen. You carrying your cat through your own personal orchard is a moment we'll all carry with us forever. And of course, your cat will be immortal here in the Boit.
him with my eyes, and I thought, well, I'll go open the front door and greet him. So I opened the front door, and instead, Stella and Bill drove up in this big white pickup truck exactly a month after I had this dream.
So he went to Courtney's house, and it was not like he didn't reach out and get like permission and set up a time. You know what I mean? He just literally showed up because Courtney's not an active part of the storyline. Hasn't been ever since. She's been directly involved, I think, one time the entire time I've been watching the Thorpes, like directly. Well, no, because she had to come to the storage unit But like as far as her reaching out in a non-legal situation, I can only think of one time, and that was whenever Ruby almost broke Grace into coming and spending some time away from Ben, but then she backpedaled, and then Courtney popped up in the chat on the Thorpatacos account and said she wanted to talk. And then Grace cut that intensely personal Discord VC the next morning. And for a minute, it looked like they were going to meet up.
Richard had a massive heart attack and died. When I remember...
But is Jeremy only saying it? I'm not trying to downplay what he's saying, but is it just in his... Is it just to his viewers and his chat, or is he like actually Chud the Buildering and like approaching people Clarence style on the street and making racist comments to them?
That dream. Rich had been in the dream and had gone out of sight. And
okay, so well, yeah, I mean that's. I don't know what Jeremy's defense there is. Then, I mean, even as like a Thorpe whatever, like Courtney is good content, but like she hasn't been around. Like she's not part of it. She's doing her own thing. Like it's wild that she told him not to go and he was still gonna go.
Stella and Bill, ironically, had come in a pickup truck. They came to pick him up.
Precognitive dreams are very much of a puzzle. We really don't know how this happens. Perhaps somebody gets information during the day.
I kind of felt like it was an unspoken rule as far as like, I don't know, that she just wasn't, you didn't, you know, there wasn't really, you know, a need to involve her in anything. That's wild.
That they don't recognize or realize.
Does the sleeping brain somehow know and understand things the waking mind does not?
I mean, the racism stuff is whatever. That's going to offend some people. But like going to somebody's house when they've told you specifically don't come here, like that's pretty unhinged, because you know they don't want you there, so you know that there's going to be a tense situation. Like I don't understand that at all. For what, an extra 30 viewers? Like
Claire Sylvia says yes. In 1983 she was diagnosed with a usually fatal disease, primary pulmonary hypertension. Before the heart-lung transplant,
is Daninsky sweeping in the chat?
Claire had a prophetic dream.
I must have missed it.
The one dream that I had, which really puzzled me, was I had to drink 4 glasses of milk a day, and that really puzzled me.
Okay, so Daninsky, you're saying that was Ben and Grace leading Jeremy to them, but like, I get that. I'm sure if that's what happened, like it sounds like that would have been a big motivator, would be to score good boy points with Grace. But who's really accountable for that though? Like, who's more to blame?
And it wasn't until after the transplant when I started taking my anti-rejection medicine, cyclosporin.
Shouldn't, if you've watched the Thorpes, I mean, shouldn't you understand how it works? Like, I'm speaking like from Jeremy's perspective, and he's been doing this for a long time. He's been around long, one of the OGs. Like, doesn't he get how all this plays out? Or the people that watch that, like, if you want to interact with them, that's one thing. But to interact with them and think you're getting something other than what they present to us, like on the daily, is crazy to me. Like that he would genuinely think like, oh, if I did this, then Grace will love me, or Grace will whatever. Like, dude, come on.
That they would give it to me in 4 little cups of milk.
After her transplant,
what's up,
Claire's
ICL?
waking hours were filled with unusual thoughts she did not understand.
After a few days in the intensive care, they asked me the very profound question of, now that you've had this, what do you want more?
He does anything for beach ball head Grace. Yeah, and I mean, you know, I'm not saying I don't understand it, but like, I just feel like you have to, at a certain point, even if you start out like super sweeping for her, at a certain point, you just really figure it out. Like you see enough, like you start to see which honestly, they're pretty easy to see, like the patterns of behavior, especially in collabs. Like So to like, I guess that's why I don't really think of it as being as actively evil as some people do, is because to me, I'm just thinking like, kind of like the people that believed that guy earlier on in the show. Remember when he was talking to their dead relatives or whatever? Like, I don't understand how people don't know how that's going to go.
More than anything. And what came from me was, I'd die for a beer right now. And I was startled as they were, because I didn't know where that came from. I'm not a beer drinker.
After her release from the hospital, the bizarre, inexplicable cravings intensified.
The first thing I did when I got into my car was find a Kentucky Fried Chicken place to get chicken nuggets. This is something I ordinarily don't do. I didn't even think about it. Chicken place to get chicken nuggets. The first thing I did when I got into my car was find a Kentucky Fried Chicken place to get chicken nuggets. This is
Vinny Slugger.
Something I ordinarily don't do. I didn't even think about it.
Then Claire had a dream that told her why she was having thoughts that were not her own.
One of the first dreams that I had about 6 months after the transplant was of
so
a young
dramatic
man that I was friendly with, and I was about to leave him to join some kind of performing group, and I turned around to come back to him and say goodbye to him, and as we came together we kissed, and I felt like
How's that?
I inhaled him into me.
Yo, what?
When I felt like I'm kind of perform a young man. One of the first dreams that I had about 6 months after the transplant was of a young man that I was friendly with, and I was about to leave him to join some kind of performing group, and I turned around to come back to him and say goodbye to him, and as we came together we kissed, and I felt like I inhaled him into me.
What in the world?
When I awakened from the dream, I felt
Sounds like the
exhilarated.
guy's
I thought
having
that
the dream.
It was the deepest breath that I had ever taken, and that this must have been my donor in my dream, whom I knew in my dream to be Tim.
The only information Claire had received about her donor was that he was an 18-year-old who had died in a motorcycle crash.
Hi, ma'am, I just inhaled your son.
The name Tim was only a dream.
It wasn't until over a year later when I had met my donor family, and we were talking about...
What? Phantom visions from their donor's past? No way, man. You gotta be kidding me. She took his soul. Yeah. The visual was so funny, too.
Me feeling that I was living with the presence of another, that we were talking about the foods and the likes and dislikes, that I was changing, and they told me about Tim and the fact that one of his favorite foods was chicken nuggets, and they were on
This looks like Epic Lloyd from Rap Battles of History.
him in his motorcycle jacket the day he was killed, and they had to pull them out.
It is the uncanny intersection of the dream world and the real world that compels many to believe that there is more to dreaming than mere electrical impulse or chemical reaction.
The dream state is just one of many levels that's available to us. So if we can learn dream state...
World.
The day he was chicken nuggets, and they were on him in his favorite. I was there. That me feeling that I was living with the presence of another, that we were talking about the foods and the likes and dislikes, that I was changing, and they told me.
Lives have more meaning, more direction, and we will certainly have a greater understanding.
Nearly everyone dreams, but not everyone remembers what they dream.
Now, wait a second. Here, Tim White. Did he just say what I think he said? Most people dream? Didn't he say earlier that literally everybody dreamed?
If you'd like to improve nearly
direction, and we will certainly have a greater understanding.
He took my criticism to heart. I think that's safe. Why would he change it at this point? What is that? Smoke?
Nearly everyone dreams, but not everyone remembers what they dream. If you'd like to improve your
He died with his chicken nuggets.
ability to recall dreams,
I'd like to hear Tony Yeoman talk about that story.
Bethard suggests sleeping with a pad and pencil beside your bed. Expecting to remember often triggers an actual memory.
Next, psychic Peter James contacts
Yes.
the spirits that have stalked a family for 25 years.
I'm not afraid of you. You don't belong here anymore.
Fuck yeah. I would argue he would be a good choice too if for an emote.
The Batesel family believes that they're being stalked. For 25 years, the stalker has followed them from house to house, invading their personal lives and disrupting their daily routine.
Oh, that'd be the worst. You think like, oh, you moved into a haunted house and you get out of the house and you're like, whew, thank God that it just keeps following you.
State police won't investigate. Neither will the FBI, because the stalker that the Batesels describe is not a man or a woman. It's a ghost.
It's a very uncomfortable feeling. You're living in a home and you're not really alone.
It's a feeling Beth Batesel has had for more than 25 years.
It's harrowing. It's tiring. It's very frustrating.
And it's
Is
a
the
feeling
ghost forcing her to wear these terrible looking clothes?
the entire Batesel family shares. Since 1970, they have been on the run, pursued by strange, unseen forces that they do not understand.
Bob and I got married in 1970, and after a year of working and saving, we bought our first home in New Brunswick, and that's where this particular phenomena all began.
The Batesel family was very nice. They were very intelligent and good neighbors.
And according to the Rutgers University students who live there now,
He managed to get a seat.
The Batesels' first home is not haunted.
I've never felt any strange feelings like anybody's watching me or anything. I never have any problem being alone in the house.
Hell yeah, Dave Topolinsky, finally a real bro.
But it was quite a different story when this unassuming duplex was occupied by Beth and Bob Batesel.
At first, we thought it was each other pulling tricks on each other, things being moved, lights
No, I think in The Conjuring it follows the doll, right?
being left on.
We were beyond skeptical, where if someone told us we heard noises upstairs, we would have said, sure you did. You know. What really sealed it, we were sitting and watching the news one evening, and all of a sudden there was an odor, and we were both kind of looking around, watching the news, but concentrating on the odor, and suddenly
Listen, we were trying to watch the news, but we were all really concentrating on the odor.
something came into our vision sight, and that was a cigarette. It was a lit cigarette, and it was floating down from our
Whoa.
ceiling.
Beth and Bob moved out.
It was a lit cigarette, and it was floating
Wow.
down from our ceiling.
Beth and Bob moved out, started a family, and continued to be haunted.
The next significant house would have been in Clinton, New Jersey,
Shocker.
where 3 out of the 4 of us got pushed down the flight of stairs by unseen.
No, I think this guy finally milked the last few bucks that family in the Sally house had. They've moved on to a new place to harvest.
hands.
As the children grew up, the ritual of packing, moving, and unpacking became just another part of life. As a family, they have lived in 11 different houses throughout the state of New Jersey. Recently, they decided to try a more rural setting in the
Would I
woods
be
near
right?
Lake
Oh,
Ariel,
the
Pennsylvania.
Insidious.
When we moved here, we thought that it was the best thing we could do for the simple reason that it was out of state.
But
Raped by a Ghost. What's the name of that one? Oh, there's an Asian film series called Raped by an Angel.
even putting 200 miles between themselves and their last home has not kept the unwanted hauntings off their
Floating
trail.
Marlboro.
Some paranormal force has followed them here. Lisa and Laura Batesel were the first to sense that something was terribly wrong in this house as well.
We were watching TV, and she
Getting
said,
high
look, and I
driving
turned and I looked,
unregistered cars.
and I saw something in the window.
Lisa came tearing up the stairs telling us something. She was babbling.
It was my cat hanging by a rope with its eyes gouged out.
I knew nothing had happened to the kitten. I knew that what they had seen was an apparition of the kitten.
Over the years, Beth and Bob have consulted numerous paranormal investigators, including psychologist Carl Schlotterbeck.
I think there's a rich combination of things happening. One, I think that there are spirits attached to them as a family.
Well, it just depends on what you want out of it. I mean, any response you make at all, he's going to make another video about because he wants easy content, so it's up to you.
They're great hosts for people in bodies and outside of bodies.
In their newest home, Schlotterbeck has taken hundreds of photographs and believes he has been able to capture evidence of spirit forms on film.
It was highly irregular because they are things that I've never seen in photographs before. Even the large light that looks like it would be lens flare.
Imagine being in like a haunted mansion. Remember that movie? I think it was called something like the Horrible Dr. Orlock or something like that by Jess Franco, and I think it was Jess Franco, and it was the story of this like haunted castle or something, and there was a fucking invisible gorilla that lived inside the castle.
Still doesn't fit the typical pattern of lens flare because there wasn't a source of light.
The photos are an important document of the Batesville haunting, but for Beth, it feels like too little, too late.
The ordeal over these last 20-odd years has very much affected me and my whole family and those who we know. Some people have become very frightened of us and are no longer our friends.
Embrace it, buddy. You think you should run with it? It's me. You can become the... That'll be good. That'll really make Bethadone seem like she's an even bigger star if she's got a psychotic fan crashing out in Dead Man's Chat.
Ask psychic Peter James to consult with the Batesville family and try to make contact with the
Hey,
stalking
Scott. Yeah,
spirits.
the awful Dr. Orloff. What a great concept.
Hello? Give me a sign that you're here.
This is awesome.
Identify yourself.
Identify yourself.
Peter agreed with Carl Schlotterbeck's assessment.
Look at this guy, man. What an absolute pro.
Batesvilles were being followed by spirits.
I just can't imagine having no idea and just calling it for a ghost guy, and this guy shows up.
But Peter also sensed a strong force attached to this house in particular.
I get the letter R first, then George, and then the last name.
You're going to stop engaging with Bethadone? That's probably a good idea.
Has a Y in it. Okay?
That's correct. The original owner's name was George Robert Kenyon.
Did he die tragically? Did he die abruptly?
Yes, he did.
It's Me has divested from Bethadone over her jump to WCW.
He got killed by a train in 1937.
Who's here? Identify
Detached
yourself.
with love, to be clear.
From what I got, just a brief glimpse of the female.
Look at this DX version of him.
It reminded me of you for just a brief glimpse of the female. It.
Oh my God. This guy. What a legend.
Reminded me of you for just a quick moment.
There was a particular time when Bob saw an entity that looked like me and thought it was me because it was clothed in something that I happened to be wearing
at the time.
I feel two
What up,
females,
Paro?
one being a child, the other, and
he's like, I got 2 words for you, ghost.
And I felt a lot of sadness from the child entity. And in the room where the bunk beds are in the basement, I felt a lot of sadness. I wanted to cry,
so good.
and I wanted to be held, and I heard that music box, and I kept calling for Daddy, Daddy.
And just a few hours after Peter James's emotional connection with the spirit of an unknown child, a thin, eerie wail was heard, as if the spirit had perhaps felt the connection too.
Roughly speaking, it's.
Someone heard a noise. It must mean the ghosts agree.
Is that Mommy?
So Sam Elliott.
maybe I hear it just clairaudiently, but I hear
thumbnail.
This child saying, "Daddy, Daddy," crying for Daddy.
The faint, plaintive cry of a child was barely audible. Here is that same sound again, greatly amplified.
Take it easy.
Amplified.
Take it easy.
Matt also yesterday, when people brought up the whispering, and he was like, he was doing what? He was jacking off while he was whispering? What a sicko. He's like, that Stevie's a sicko.
Come forth, I'd like to help send you on. You don't belong here anymore.
That night, Peter claimed to make contact with both of the spirits, and he came to believe that Beth Batesville is a kind of spirit magnet, unwillingly attracting lost souls.
I think Beth is being stalked. I think she's being followed. She has an aura that I think attracts these entities to her.
He's like, that makes sense. He would be whispering while masturbating. He's because he's Antifa.
Peter believes that Beth has a special kind of spiritual energy that is comforting.
Dropped a haircut explanation video
to these spirits, and that while the haunting activity may appear frightening, the Batesvilles must understand that the forces here are not trying to harm them.
We've learned many things. We never thought that the houses we moved in were haunted. We always felt that they were following us. I don't believe that houses are haunted.
I like it too when Matt gets emotional thinking about Ruby, and he starts listing all of her absolutely worst qualities, and then being like, but I'm willing to overlook all of it, Ruby.
At all. I think people are haunted.
Since Peter James's visit to the current Batesville home, the unsettling haunting activity has subsided. However, the spirit they now know as George continues to make his presence felt.
I think McHenry's putting out these controversial, potentially viral videos explaining his weird haircut because he's jonesing for some coverage.
The family believes that he may never leave entirely, but they have a better understanding of how and why he haunts them.
Next, Sightings uncovers astonishing similarities between UFOs.
This has been a great episode. I feel like every story was really good, and we still got one more, it looks like.
Nellis Air Force Base and Mexico City.
There's also
Mexico City.
Recently, Sightings brought you UFO footage smuggled out of a super-secret military installation in Nevada. Well, since then, the tape of the anomalous craft has been undergoing
This UFO footage was found during a false wall behind a hidden bookcase in an Italian monastery. We've got it for you here on Sightings.
Analysis by an image enhancement expert. As Sightings correspondent Carla Wold reports, this expert has found similarities between the Nellis craft and many of the UFOs sighted in the long-term flap over Mexico City.
Since 1991, an alarming number of UFOs have been sighted by thousands of people in the skies above Mexico City. Now the strange invasion seems to be spreading north. You are hearing the voice of the American military, monitoring a UFO as it hovers over a secret desert facility, part of Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas, Nevada. As part of Sightings' ongoing investigation into the Nellis craft, the video is being analyzed by a Defense Department subcontractor specializing in image enhancement. He believes the Nellis UFO bears an uncanny resemblance to many of the UFOs observed over Mexico City. Concerned that his startling conclusions could compromise his top-level security clearance, his identity is being concealed. This is the Nellis Air Force.
Right. This is the Nellis Air Force Base range footage. Now, this piece of video right here.
What do you mean, Ruby Shoe Sunday? Are you talking about Ruby Space
Air? Was taken in 1991 during the eclipse in Mexico City.
What specifically did you notice that was similar?
There's appears to...
I heard that Ruby had removed all of the centrist moderators to consolidate power, and now her chat is ruled with an iron fist.
Be 4 little bumps on there, and there's also 4 little bumps on this guy. We did do some extensive work on this spine area, this ridge along the top, and along this area here. And when we enhance these areas, it reconstructs very similar.
Is it this extreme black, this pitch black circle on each of these objects that sort of was the whistle for you that sounded the alarm, like that there might be some similarity between these
What alarm?
two objects?
Yes, yeah. That area was puzzling to us in the original analysis because it appeared to be so highly absorbent of light. Most objects illuminated in this bright a sky, even surfaces that are way down.
Daninsky, can you confirm or deny the fact that Antifa now has full control of Ruby's chat?
On the bottom out of the sunlight in deep shadow, still reflect light back to the camera. This object stops reflecting right here on this forward edge, and it falls off very rapidly to pure black down the center. Very, very black, what we call super black.
Do you know any aircraft? Are you familiar with any aircraft that would look like that?
No.
In the sky?
We looked at it in comparison with all known types of military and commercial and private type aircraft, but we were unable to find any wings or anything on the geometry of this.
Each UFO has a black ridge center, an identical profile, and a white diffuse shape shadowing the core. But these are not the characteristics that excite our expert, who's trained to analyze minute detail in satellite photos.
We took some video from a golf ball coming up through the sky and down to the green, produces a similar object to a UFO. It's a small white dot in the sky.
Isn't she a...
We were able to go to those.
She was a big-time Grace loyalist. Is she still aligned with House Grace?
Those images, and with very minimal work, able to bring out the dimples in the golf ball in flight. When we look at these images, we can't get the definition of the geometry that we would expect.
How could I can't. Don't tell people I can help them.
As this one was to a very good camera. The objects by nature are fuzzy, or...
We've received confirmation Ruby's chat has fallen. It is now fully in the hands of Antifa.
Undefined or unclear. This one was shot by a very...
For those still inside, we wish you well.
Expensive tracking camera on a very stable mount. This one was shot by a handheld consumer video camera. And there's no difference in resolution. And we find that puzzling, that no matter how many of these images you get from whatever source.
Did you go confront him about it, Terrapin Fred? Now, I know it was you. You pointed my house out to the DoorDash driver.
They all have that ball of cotton syndrome, or that fuzziness to them.
When they were seen only over Mexico City, it was a phenomenon. Now that the activity of seemingly identical UFOs has spread into American airspace, it can only be called a trend. The sightings investigation will continue.
Why would she go crazy mentioning me? Ruby? I have no heat with Ruby. I don't know if Ruby has... Oh, it could be because Matt moderated me in his chat, but I'm not... That's not a... That's Matt showing me, and honestly, most of my chats get censored anyway, so it just saves the mods that are already there. But, like, everybody knows I don't really, like, moderate. So it's not like I'm in there helping him sweep up or whatever.
Mexico City mass sightings continue unabated. After more than 4 years of persistent UFO encounters, there is still no consensus on what or who is responsible for these unexplained aircraft. I'll bring you my own report from Mexico City on a future edition of Sightings.
If you've had a paranormal experience, please write to us at Sightings.
Write us at Paramount.
Sightings can also be contacted at America Online at keyword Sightings. At the Sightings Forum, download images, sounds,
I think that used to be true before so much of this stuff got monetized, Fred. I feel like now, like, I don't know if you saw it, but there was a case the other day where, like, a woman in her 80s that was playing Skyrim or something to raise money for her grandchild that had cancer, like, and somebody swatted her.
Clips. Also, join
I
us
think a lot of that code is kind of like eroded over the years.
daily in our chat room, live on AOL.
Like in the old days, to be a lolcow, like you had to be like an actively like harmful person, or at least, you know what I mean? Like it's not just like, oh, here's this autistic person on the internet, they're a lolcow, which is kind of, I feel like, how it's treated now. There's just a lot. I feel like a lot of the troll ethics have declined in recent years.
Until next time, remember, no mystery is closed to an open mind. For Sightings, I'm Tim White.
I've heard that too about the fake McKinsey account. So we know there could be potentially fake McKinseys. We know for sure there's at least one fake Armani.
Next on Sci-Fi, Dark Shadows.
I think that could be a point of contention between Bethadone and Mr. Deadman, because she will tolerate no hate on Armani, and Mr. Deadman hates Armani. I explained to her that while, you know, Armani, that she likes Armani and that I get along with Armani, but a lot of people have a lot of heat with Armani in the sector.
Are we dealing with an epidemic?
A bold experiment.
We recombine termite and mantid DNA to create a biological counteragent.
Becomes a deadly mistake.
They were designed to die.
This is Mimic. I just reviewed this not too long ago.
They are breeding.
But how do you destroy it? When you've created it. Mira Sorvino.
I can tell you, and that's not speculation on Armani, they were both in my chat at the same time. Remember when we had that moment where I had the gun and I had to choose one or the other? And then we found out that Ruby had escorted in the fake Armani. I remember when Ruby first bridge burnt with Armani was because he called her slow in this chat, and he found out about it later on, and as soon as she popped up in chat, he sprung right up and he was like, "Oh, I'm slow, huh, Ruby?"
Mimic, Saturday at 7 p.m. on Sci-Fi.
You don't think he has heat with Armani? He must have done something, because there was some drama over it. I think it was in the comment section on something Bethadone had sent me.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Oh, cool. Wait, what happened? Is this a Sightings full episode? Or is this just the end of this movie?
Welcome to Sightings. I'm Tim White. According to legend, Halloween is the one night of the year.
I trust Ananjay. He's high IQ. He's got his fingers on the pulse of the boy.
When the dead are allowed to come out to play. To keep the evil spirits away from the living, we're supposed to wear scary
Bobby may
masks and
stroke out.
costumes and place a grinning jack-o'-lantern on the doorstep. These are the traditional talismans of Halloween. But in one small town in the Pacific Northwest, it's going to take more than a carved pumpkin to keep away the ghosts who ride an old steam train called the Spirit of Oregon.
Oh, train content. Me personally, I like both train content and ghost content, so this is like a perfect mixture of those two interests.
For passengers, a ride through Oregon's coastal mountains on this great old train is
Oregon.
a trip through history, where the rails have a
What a dump.
story to tell.
Oregon, just like Ruby's chat, under the control of Antifa.
But one chapter in the story is disturbing. The story of a great
Sorry,
train wreck and
Daninsky.
its victims who seem to have come aboard the Spirit of Oregon, perhaps because she is one of the very last of a dying breed.
The Spirit of Oregon is very much alive.
5 years ago, this was the Spirit of Oregon, a great hulking piece of Americana rusting on the scrap heap. Vicky Steele took this picture
Hey, Daninsky, do you think you should read that as an intro to Ben?
before the restoration began.
Americana. 5 years ago, this was the spirit of Oregon. A great hulking piece of Americana rusting on the scrap heap. Vicky Steele took this picture before the restoration began.
My husband has refurbished rail cars for
A great hulking piece of Americana rusting away on the scrap heap.
the last 12 years. And one day he decided that we should have our own dinner train, so he built it, and now it's here.
All aboard! The Spirit of Oregon carries its passengers along a scenic 50-mile route, then stops just short of an old bridge before returning home. And some people have come to believe that it is this route that has caused apparitions to appear in the coaches and on this photograph.
We were showing the before pictures that we took of the train, and one of the gentlemen said, "Hey, you've got a ghost in your picture," and we kind of scuffed at it because all you could see was a blue haze.
But from its maiden voyage on, there were also personal encounters with strange forces that seemed to be targeting the train's staff people.
There was a bartender on the train that would have glasses blow up in his hand, or, you know, dishes will fly off, or chairs will get
Patrick
jerked out from
Dooling.
underneath you.
We had a lot of really strange things happen.
They'll get jerked out from underneath you.
Whoa.
We had a lot of really strange things happen.
Vicky Doctor.
Beating on the walls on our offices when there's nobody out here.
I'd like to beat on the walls.
And we'll see people walking through the trains when we know the train's locked up and it has a security system on it.
When you catch something in the corner of your eye, you always look back. When I looked back, it was like somebody had taken ice water and shot it through from my head to my toes. It was just a real cold, cold feeling.
And some people have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, despite the train's smooth ride and hospitable interior.
I can honestly say that that's probably the
rusting
the
Americana
most depressed
trash.
I have ever been in my
Whoa,
life.
yes.
Probably the most.
This guy's great. Michael Palmer. He's an experienced spirit contact. Very Paul Bearer vibes.
Depressed I have ever been in my life.
Michael and Sharon Palmer had been invited on the train for a special anniversary dinner. It was August 6th, 1995, a date Michael will never forget.
I was overcome by this overwhelming depression. It was like a despair, an emptiness.
I hear
Suddenly
you.
a realization came to me that the feelings I'd been having must be very similar to the feelings that someone has just before they're going to die. And actually, I broke down. I started to cry at that time.
Michael Palmer did not understand why he was experiencing those unnatural emotions, but somehow he felt it was connected to the railroad's past and the photograph.
We could see it was changing. We couldn't understand it at first, and then as it kept getting clearer and clearer, we happened to mention it to a gentleman by the name of Edmund Stone.
I started to
Of
wonder.
course, Edmund Stone. Who else? TV producer Edmund Stone.
I know it sounds strange, if perhaps there was a reason.
Oh, I thought he was tattooed. He's just got on a shirt that looks like, I don't know, salad or something.
It was happening at that time. What's your name?
Stone is a producer for a Portland television station. He and director
Please. What's the guy's name? Eric Sloan?
camera operator Wade Evans produced
Eric
a TV
Stone?
special about the strange happenings on the Spirit of Oregon. Their first trip on the train occurred on August 6, 1994.
I want to see the show that they're making.
To the day before Michael Palmer's emotional ride.
Michael Palmer's emotional ride.
Actually, then I started feeling emotional.
Oh my God.
Tears were rolling down my eyes. I felt very sad.
This is too much. If I was there in person, I would be absolutely losing it.
He threw up.
What? Threw up?
Actually.
Emotion occurred on August 6, 1994, 1 year to the day before Michael Palmer's emotional ride.
Yeah, I felt something was inside of me trying to get out, actually. Then I started feeling emotional. Tears were rolling down my eyes. I felt very sad.
The lavatory and get a cold towel.
In fact, I actually threw up and had to and got weak. Couldn't stand for a moment.
Oh my God. Wow.
Like Palmer, Evans felt that he was being targeted by an unseen force with an important message.
Since I was trying to record...
Well, what are they leaning him out the fucking back of the train for? Why don't they take him further into the train?
the images that were happening in the train at that time, I was more sort of a conduit for anything else that wanted to be recorded, perhaps.
But what was the message? Why had these two men been transformed by an inexplicable sense of dread? And why did both incidents happen on August the 6th?
And the more I looked into it, the more I thought if there's a reason that things are happening, maybe
Edmund
it's connected with a train
Stone,
crash.
Portland, right?
In fact, on August 6th, 1935, on the same rails where the Spirit of Oregon
Edmund
rides today,
Stone.
there was a devastating accident.
Portland
a
TV.
bridge collapsed and 5 men died, including the father of Mary Jane.
No way! Oh my gosh, he was still... Here's an article about him from 10 years ago. Edmund Stone, on-air host at All Classical. Here he is conducting an orchestra for the Portland Choir and Orchestra. Wow, so he really got out there and got it done. Wow. What an accomplished life of Edmund Stone, not just a guy from Sightings.
To them that all the support had been taken away from the trestle.
The train stopped before the bridge, but railroad workers waved the freight train on.
And they didn't even get all the way over, and it went down like a deck of cards.
They had 112 feet to fall. They probably had something in the region of about 10 to 15 seconds of realization they were going to die a horrible death.
The rails simply fell away below the wheels of the train. 5 men, including Mary Jane's father,
He doesn't
died
believe in
slow
ghosts.
motion. The brakeman was found clutching the brake in his hand with a death grip so strong he had to be buried with the brake.
How's that a pot shot? What are you talking about?
In his hand.
I said obviously he's leading an orchestra. He's hosting a classical radio show. The guy's, where was a pot shot at?
That perhaps in that last moment they understood that sadness of death. And is it possible that that feeling is being transmitted 60 years later through my cameraman and my friend? I don't know. That sounds far-fetched.
Far-fetched.
But it might also be an explanation.
An accident report absolved the railroad of responsibility.
Of course,
and
yeah.
The families of the victims were quietly given cash settlements.
And that's been the way it's been for 60 years. And we start to look, we realize, hey, maybe this wasn't such an accident after all. Maybe there was negligence. Maybe if these presences on the train are trying to tell us something, then what if they were trying to tell us, hey, look at this, because we shouldn't have died.
Vincent
When
Killer
Stone first
McMahon.
began discussing these conclusions, the ghost image in the photo was, again, becoming more pronounced. And not only was the original photo changing, all the copies of the photo were changing too.
You could see where they had the old-fashioned
Give me
blue,
a break.
a railroad shirt and the old-fashioned vest, and then you could actually start seeing a lantern hanging down.
As the images
Yeah, one of my lights went out.
continued to develop, we showed the photos
It's a little
of Mary
more
Jane Walker, who had
campfire-esque.
ridden that very train with her father.
It's like we're
so
going to
many
watch
years
True
ago.
Crime.
She saw 3 clear images.
Oh, speaking of true crime, Bethadone sent me out, and I would say like between 80 and 100 conservative estimate voice messages after she took 1,000 milligrams of THC in an oil, and about how Foodie Beauty had gone to the store, but she didn't want to walk, and she wanted to take a scooter. I really couldn't really pick up on much else. She sent me one really long message where she explained it very thoroughly, and then it was like 100 follow-up messages about this one particular Foodie Beauty scene.
Oh.
She said she's also going to go back to publicly being a supporter of Foodie Beauty, and if she gets the heat, that's fine.
Yes, I immediately recognized Ted Johnson, the engineer. And then there was the man holding the lantern.
How am I going to help the people in Ruby's
And
chat?
I could see, well, that's got to be Adolf Both, the brakeman. And the other would be my dad. I'm a believer. I think that it
Wow.
had to come. Somehow I'm a believer. I think that it had to come. Somehow
There you go.
they had to get it out, the men. Their spirit would not rest until the truth was known about that damn wreck.
God damn it.
And now, in part because of the hauntings aboard the Spirit of Oregon, the message is getting out. Mary Jane recently dedicated a plaque near the scene of the accident. It's a tribute she hopes will outlast wreckage from the accident rusting nearby.
I do hope that the spirit of Ted Johnson, Adolph Both, and my father know that we know now that it was negligence.
Perhaps now that their story has been told, the 5 men who lost their lives on this line will be at rest.
Yes, it's haunted. It's haunted by something that wants to find peace. That's all it wants. And I think it's heading in that direction.
Daninsky he wants to know if it's a factory issue or a neo vajayjay.
Although there have been a number of terrifying events on the Spirit of Oregon, it seems that the ghosts on the train are selective about whom they target for vengeance. So far, not a single paying customer has had a haunting experience.
Next,
he was one of the...
There's another story? Oh, we're in a new episode. Never mind. I was like, this is the best episode of Sightings ever, and we're into the 2nd episode.
Why did he destroy a large part of Siberia?
Meet the bride go together. And if you've ever rented an old black and white horror movie, you've seen the wild-eyed, wild-haired mad scientist hunched over a weird contraption spewing electricity.
There you go, Daninsky.
But did you know that that character is based on a real-life American scientist? His name was Nikola Tesla, and there are those who believe that he was mad the night he inadvertently blew up part of Siberia.
What?
The night his name was Nikola Tesla, and there are those who believe that he was mad the night he inadvertently blew up part of Siberia.
Producer Jonathan Gerald. Sounds like a Memphis jobber.
On June 30th, 1908, a remote area of Siberia known as Tunguska is devastated by a mysterious force 2,000
very
times
like
greater than the bomb dropped on
70s lighting, I feel like.
Hiroshima. It left no crater or residue, the usual calling card of a meteor or comet. Russian investigators who found metal fragments at the site suggested the blast had been caused by an alien spacecraft colliding with Earth. But a new, compelling theory about the Tunguska incident suggests that a highly concentrated beam of electrical energy caused the total devastation in this region, and that only one man had the scientific knowledge to pull it off.
Nikola Tesla, I feel he's the greatest inventor of the past 500 years.
Well, let's see. He's the president of the International Tesla Society, so certainly J.W. McGinnis couldn't be biased or anything.
He is a Michelangelo. He is a Leonardo da Vinci of science.
He gave us AC power to fluorescent light, radio, robotics.
By 1900...
Listen, I don't care what Chris Jenner says.
By 1900, he was the emperor of invention. He had eclipsed Edison. He was
Tad Wise,
one of the half-dozen most famous men in the world.
Heady praise for a man we seem to know so little about. When Tesla emigrated to the United States from Croatia in 1884, his dream of working for his hero, Thomas Edison, became a reality. But Tesla's development of a more efficient form of electricity called AC, alternating current, didn't sit well with his new boss, who had already developed the more cumbersome direct current, or DC.
Edison just shut him down. He said, it's DC here. America, Washington, DC. Forget this AC stuff. You're working for me. I don't want to hear another word of it.
But AC was superior.
Hey, Pally, that AC stuff. Cut it, pal. This is Washington, D.C., not AC. Get with the times.
Tesla's biographer Tad Wise points out.
DC is like a fine wine that doesn't travel well. It's a power that cannot be stepped up to extremely high frequencies, whereas AC can be transported in these extremely high voltages and then stepped down very safely to be used in a home or school or a factory.
Tesla's brilliant discovery so impressed industrialist George Westinghouse that he enlisted Tesla in his bid to harness the hydroelectric power of Niagara Falls. Finally, the movers and shakers of the day were noticing Tesla.
Met Kipling, he became a good friend of Mark Twain's, and he met all the
I hope
millionaires.
so,
He made a
Cody
point
Turbo.
of meeting all the millionaires.
One of those
Isn't that the
millionaires
dream?
was J.P. Morgan.
And J.P. Morgan was the fellow that gave him
Well, hopefully, though,
$150,000.
you wouldn't do it that way through IVF. Hopefully, you'd be naturally implanting.
Probably the equivalent of 10 million or better today, to build Wardenclyffe.
Wardenclyffe was the name Tesla chose for what he believed would be his greatest contribution. A huge transmitter that would provide electrical power to the world without the use of wires.
What he didn't tell Morgan was that he wanted to send power to the world for free.
Journalist Ellen Sherman believes this was the beginning of the end for Wardenclyffe.
J.P. Morgan did not want to back something that was going to give free energy to people who he could put no meter on. He could not get any money from it whatsoever.
When Morgan pulled his support, he not only ended Tesla's career as the major scientist of his day, but he made laughingstock of it in the eyes of his scientific peers. When that was all pulled away from him, he was a desperate man on any number of fronts.
And that desperation may have led him to use the partially constructed tower to conduct a fateful experiment in the summer of 1908.
Tesla was something of a showman. He had lost the backing
Finally,
of his
we get Oliver Nicholson to weigh in on this.
financial supporters. And he is the kind, or was the kind of person who might try a large public event that would bring attention to his work.
Oliver Nicholson has found evidence that Nikola Tesla may have been planning to aim his electrical beam at the North Pole.
You did a short inside the DMV.
Put on a dramatic light show for Admiral Perry, who was in the midst of his historic expedition. A small miscalculation in distance could have had devastating results.
There was Tesla's research station in Long Island, and I drew the line to Tunguska in Russia. Then, interestingly enough, that line crossed right near the North Pole and came very close to Ellesmere Island, where Perry would be camping over for the winter.
Nicholson and others theorized that Tesla's aim was true, but he grossly underestimated the effect gravity would have on his electrical energy beam.
Instead of this operating as he thought it was going to, there is a tremendous explosion in the Siberian region. Forests are laid flat, reindeer herds disappeared, small towns completely gone.
Line synchronicity. Remember when Bethadone was trying to play dumb like she didn't know what that meant?
W. McGinnis of the International Tesla Society is convinced that the Tunguska tragedy is linked to Tesla. He disagrees with those who believe Tesla was purposely building a weapon of mass destruction on a global scale.
Of all of the great scientists of this country that went to work for the Manhattan Project, there was one scientist that refused to do that, and that was Nikola Tesla. He did not believe in a general destructive weapon and wanted to introduce something that was a lot more incisive and certainly indefensible, and that was his death ray. This thing was so powerful, it would deliver 50
The death
million volts
ray.
into
That's
an
awesome.
area that was 1/10 of a millionth of an inch in diameter. If you put that much pressure in that small a space, there's nothing that can stand up to it. You could cut a ship in half.
While the U.S. government went ahead with its atomic bomb strategy, a secretive interest in Tesla's work seemed to be at work shortly after his death in 1943.
The day following his death, the FBI, under the auspices of the OAP, which is the Office of Alien Protection, broke into his apartment, broke into his safe, and stole or confiscated all of his papers and effects. Now, the OAP had no business being there. He had been a citizen of the United States since the previous century. So this was a ruse. They needed to get in there somehow.
Recently declassified documents only hint at the great discoveries that may have been hidden in Tesla's safe. He had developed a sophisticated particle beam death ray, and he had the know-how to successfully...
Well, why would he choose to have a quiet book reading nook with these giant loud things in there?
transmit an enormously powerful wave of electrical current through the atmosphere and halfway across the world.
Hey, Victoria. Or
Could it
Virginia,
be
sorry.
that through his purloined papers, our government
Purloined
gained knowledge
papers?
that should, by rights, make Nikola Tesla the father of Star Wars technology?
They realized was that Tesla was always ahead of his time.
What amazing discoveries did the FBI find inside Tesla's safe at the Hotel New Yorker? We may never know. Shortly after their retrieval, the files disappeared and have not been seen, at least not publicly, since then.
Next, dramatic new evidence that our government is covering up the truth about Roswell and what Americans really believe about UFOs.
Purloined papers.
Here are some of the stories that Sightings is following in the news. After more than 45 years, the federal government's General Accounting Office...
Kim Jong's sister is a low-key tyrant? Well, yeah, I mean, what do you... Of course.
...has finally started auditing government records to determine what really happened in Roswell, New Mexico.
What else would it...
In
what
Washington,
else would
D.C.,
happen there?
America's auditor, the General Accounting Office, has finally released the results of their full-scale Roswell investigation. The investigation was prompted by citizen protest and by demands by New Mexico Congressman Stephen Schiff, who insisted that all documents relating to Roswell be released.
I have confidence the GAO will bring forward anything they find with respect to the Roswell incident.
The result is a terse report, nearly as inconclusive as the famous saucer crash itself. 15 government agencies complied, including the FBI, CIA, Army, Air Force, and Navy. However, few documents were turned over. The GAO report states that nearly every relevant record from Roswell Army Airfield has been destroyed, and that it is not known who destroyed the records or under what authority. While the U.S. Air Force has explained the Roswell incident as the crash of a classified balloon project aimed at the Soviet Union, the National Security Council, the CIA, and the Office of Science and Technology have no record of such an operation. The report concludes that the GAO's findings are inconclusive, fueling, rather than dispelling, the Roswell mystery.
See, they've been fucking leaking these nothing documents for fucking decades.
News story from Ohio.
And it's always, the next batch is going to be the one that's finally got the good stuff in there.
Wide survey by...
Oh man, low tier god.
Scripps Howard News Service and Ohio University has found that a majority of Americans...
Oh, thank you, Dave's channel. Oh, wow. Corn dogs, south to wow, and south to west in the same pack. Wow. Funk, Dr. Gumby, Occult, and Lauren B. Wow. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that, man. Wow. Pulling 2 chat regulars. Impressive. That's a pretty good pack. That's very generous, Dave.
Americans believe in UFOs.
We interviewed 1,006 people. We had people in every area code in terms of age, education, income. So it does represent the entire country.
UFOs.
What's up, Murder Party? We're watching JCW on Wednesday. I've got like a long day. I've got more streaming time on Wednesdays.
We're a new topic for this biannual poll, which is designed to survey our attitudes about government.
We put the question about flying saucers in as another kind of dimension of how people feel about what government does and says.
The question posed was this: do you believe that UFOs are real and that the government is hiding what it knows?
50% of the...
Yeah, you could even pull like a Opium Ben card.
People said it was very likely or likely that flying saucers are real and
hey,
the government
Randy.
was hiding the truth from us. 43%.
Yeah, I really like JCW too.
And said it was not likely that saucers are real and the government was hiding the truth.
That means that half of all Americans not only believe in UFOs, they also believe that the government is covering up the truth of their existence. And it's an opinion that crosses all age, gender, ethnic, and socioeconomic lines.
There is some
That'd be interesting if they did have how that would work.
evidence, after all, that the government hides things from us. You can dismiss a lot of these,
Boy,
but
watch
there are
trading
some of
cards.
them you can't explain.
The Thorpes would have me tied up in litigation for years if I tried to make cards of their images.
In Tibet, China's inner kingdom is considered one of the most spiritual places on Earth. The leaders for life of this autonomous region are called lamas, the holiest of all Buddhist monks. Although the exiled Dalai Lama is perhaps more famous to Westerners, since 1959, the people of Tibet have been led by the Panchen Lama.
The
Recently, the
Panchen
10th
Lama.
Panchen Lama passed on, and the search for his successor began.
Whoa, man.
Because Tibetan Buddhists believe in rebirth and reincarnation, the new
If I was
Panchen
there,
Lama
I'd tell the guy to knock it off with whatever that ringing sound is.
had to be the reincarnated spirit of
Tell him
the
to
old
cut the shit.
Panchen Lama.
What happens is the Tibetan government sends out word that they're looking for a reincarnation. And they're asking whether there are any unusual...
If the JCW guy is still in here, if you go onto my page and then go to lives, you can see it if you want to like set a reminder or anything. It's already scheduled and everything.
Children have been born recently, ones having unusual knowledge, or...
Is this Beth? Oh my God, that's Boy Tony, the a Memphis jobber who couldn't win any matches, said that he disappeared for a while, and when he came back, he cut a promo saying that he went to a Boy George concert and he died. And he was reborn as Boy Tony, and he basically played like an effeminate character. But it was really over, and he ended up becoming like one of the top heels in the territory for a minute.
Ones who are born in the midst of miraculous activities.
Oh, hey, a rare 407 Whitey appearance. What's up, man?
Dr. Jeffrey Hopkins is a professor of religious studies at the University of Virginia. He has written over 20 books on Tibet and Tibetan Buddhism.
Once they've narrowed down the...
I'd be like, so you've written 20 books on Tibet and Buddhism? He'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, well, why?
The candidates somewhat. They'll test those candidates by asking the child to choose, for instance, a rosary used by the Lama in the last lifetime as opposed to another one.
What's his channel?
Monks from the Panchen Lama's monastery believe they have recognized the spirit of their former leader and spiritual teacher reincarnated in the body of a young boy. But Tibet is part of China, and the secular Chinese
That's the
government
opposite
is
of what
demanding a role
McHenry
in
wants.
choosing and educating the new Lama.
Thank you,
The
Scott, for
decision
the
has
floating
outraged
heart.
Tibetans because the care of its most spiritual leader is a task
Buffalo
that has been
Fall,
left mostly
Buffalo
to Tibetan
Fall.
monks since the 18th century. Dr. Hopkins believes the government's motivation is obvious.
As British spies used to say, there's no way of controlling Tibet without controlling or having a Lama on your side.
Yeah, there's no controlling Beth. I'd agree with that.
We'll have more stories from the news next time. Now, here's what's coming up on Sightings.
Why Mercy Brown's final resting place was anything but restful.
Oh,
There was a big power, a spirit that was in the grave that was draining the life of the living.
And the man behind the alien autopsy film speaks out.
You saw him at a McDonald's?
On
Wow.
Halloween,
And Ben
tens
Stein?
of thousands of
Wow.
make-believe Count Draculas roam the countryside, blood dripping from their plastic fangs. Impersonating the fictional vampire is a popular and harmless tradition. But 100 years ago, there was a real cult of vampires who roamed the New England countryside. They performed
The
grisly
Thorpes.
acts, digging up grave sites and defiling the remains.
Didn't they? I don't know. Didn't I? This is. I think the one I'm thinking of is a British story, but it's like where the people are like digging people up. The two guys that work at the graveyard are like digging people up. I think it has Peter Cushing in it, maybe.
One biographer of Count Dracula referred to Rhode Island as the Transylvania of America, meaning
Rhode Island, the Transylvania of America.
that more vampire incidents have happened here than anywhere else in the country, which is probably true.
In an old cemetery just outside of Exeter, Rhode Island, is the grave of Mercy Brown. You would never know by looking at it, but this is perhaps the most famous site in the history of American
Beth
vampirism.
failed a rehab
Mercy Brown
physical.
was just the farmer's daughter. Nothing remarkable about
That's
her
terrible.
apart from the fact that her body was exhumed
Hi, I'm a folklorist. How do I get that job?
and her heart was cut out.
I guess I'm kind of like an internet folklorist.
What do you think of when someone mentions the term vampire?
Michael Bell.
Do you think of a man with an unkempt beard and hair, covered in black mold, sprouting fungus from a strange spore aura?
Is a folklorist who specializes in the study of New England's vampires. He's lecturing
Unwashed
on the life story
RV
of Mercy Brown
vampires.
and how her own brother came to consume her blood-drenched heart.
Mercy Brown probably is in the forefront of importance in terms of the vampire practice.
Of course, it's Rhode Island, so there has to be an incest angle to the vampire story.
Because she's the most well-known in
Graysylvania.
I can determine the very last case.
I want to suck your cash app.
Mercy Brown was born in Exeter in 1873, a town some of her descendants, including Lewis Peck, still call home.
Louis Peck.
Exeter was a farming, log cutting, wood cutting town. Timber and farming.
Timber.
Exeter, that's what Exeter people were.
Mercy attended a one-room schoolhouse and led a typical New England farm life. But as she grew up, her family grew ill. She watched helplessly as her mother and sister died from consumption. What we know today is tuberculosis.
She left me a hot message in one of her last shorts. What was do you remember which one it was?
In the meantime, Mercy Brown became ill with consumption, and it was a kind called
The armpit of New England.
And so it progressed very rapidly.
In January of 1892,
Transylvania.
at the age of 19, Mercy died. Her surviving family feared Mercy's brother would be the next to go.
The general belief was there was a vague force or power or spirit that was in the grave that was draining the life of the living.
In an effort
OPC
to
Don.
stop the inexorable march of the disease, the bodies of the Brown family were unearthed to determine which corpse was draining the life from the living.
Dick Cemetery.
Else to do, what would you
Dick
do?
Cemetery sounds like it would be like a name Fletch would give somebody. Hey, how you doing? Dick Cemetery.
Try anything.
Well, the mother and the first daughter were basically decomposed the way they thought they should be. But when they came to Mercy, she looked too fresh.
They come back here,
Oh.
dug her up, found her
Well, I wouldn't say that we message each other a lot.
turned on her side, which, how do you turn on your side if you bury it?
The 19th century gravediggers knew nothing of forensic science. They saw what
Kinetic
they
Kell
believed to be
back in the-
unnatural hair growth,
back in the
nail
fold.
growth, and a heart still full of blood. Mercy was considered to be one of
Ruby gets a share of a over $3 million settlement, and Kinetic Kell pops up out of the woodwork.
the undead.
Oh my
Well,
God,
she'd only been
Ruby,
dead a
I
few
missed you,
months
girl.
Before they exhumed the body, and these were winter months, so the rate of decomposition would have been quite slow to begin with.
Paul Sledzik is a forensic anthropologist with the National Museum of Health and Medicine, who has also studied the Mercy Brown case.
They would be looking for
Listen
things
to this
like lengthening
music really
of the
hits.
fingernails.
Studied the Mercy Brown case.
Oh.
National Museum of Health
Oh.
and Medicine, who has also studied the Mercy Brown case.
They would be looking for things like lengthening of the fingernails, which is actually not lengthening the fingernails, but just receding of the tissues underneath, so it appears as though the fingernails have grown. They also look for evidence of new skin, of like a whitish skin appearing over the reddish old skin. That's also just a byproduct of decomposition. It's called skin slippage.
On a bitter cold night, Mercy's
I gotta
heart
get a
was
drink. I'll
torn
be right
from her
back.
body, burned, and the ashes mixed with water for her sick brother to drink. Although he died soon after, he was the last member of the family to succumb to the disease.
So they thought for sure that they had got the vampire. And all the time, it was tuberculosis.
Mercy was not alone. Researchers have uncovered more than 15 incidents in which corpses were exhumed and then consumed. In 1990, Paul Sledzik discovered this defiled burial site in rural Connecticut.
Upon starting to excavate the graves, they found one particular burial that intrigued them because the bones had been rearranged after death.
The skeleton had been tampered with years after his
Oh,
death.
Lowe's come back in. Lowe's like, listen, Ruby. You don't know anybody who could maybe buy a lot of these unlicensed NFL blankets I've made.
The bones had been separated and rearranged in a skull and crossbones configuration, a ritual designed to keep the undead in their graves.
Well, if you look generally at the New England folklore about how to kill a vampire, they're essentially causing disruption to the corpse. In the Mercy Brown case, they're removing the heart and burning it. They're just trying to cause some disruption to the normal appearance of a body within the grave.
But did the ritual performed on Mercy Brown work?
This is where we were told not to play.
According to Peck, all is still not quiet at the Brown family plot. He recalls a night many years ago when he saw an unnatural force rise up from the grave of Mercy Brown.
And I'm in my 20s, and it's in the wintertime.
Oh, is Dave leaving?
So we pull in here.
Oh, I see
And,
now.
in
All right,
the
see you later,
same
Dave.
direction to where I'm sitting now. About 3 feet off the ground was a ball of bright light. So bright that it was blue.
Let me ask you something, Gobbledygook. How many times in all the shows that we watch have you seen people do things for one another out of the kindness of their heart, as far as streamers collabing and whatnot?
I don't know where it come from, and I don't know where it went to. And we went to the corner to where another relative of mine lived. We told him what we'd just seen, and he laughed and he said, "It's been seen before."
The gruesome acts performed by the vampire cult of the last century
That's what Ping Pong Dave calls old beach ball head Daninsky.
were the natural result of ignorance, fear, and superstition. But they were also based on a belief in supernatural forces that continue to be cited in this century.
In that field, I guess she's made quite a history, without a heart.
Bram Stoker, the creator of the original Dracula, is believed to have based his character on a
I like how the phone rang in the background.
15th century barbarian called Vlad the Impaler. But among Bram Stoker's original notes for his novel, researchers recently found a newspaper clipping from 1892. It was a report on the bizarre case of Mercy Brown.
Next, an elaborate hoax or the real thing? Sightings go.
Oh no, no, alien autopsy. That's how I feel about it. I mean, there might be some genuine, like, I can see wanting to hang out with Ruby, you know, or whatever, but, you know, timing is timing, and...
Source. Once the film is deemed to be real or not, we can then decide how we're going to move forward.
Sought-after man in ufology today. Santilli claims that he has found film footage of a government autopsy of an extraterrestrial. His supporters believe Santilli has uncovered the conspiracy of the century. His critics cry foul. Now, in a rare interview with Sightings correspondent Carla Wohl, Ray Santilli answers charges that he is closer to P.T. Barnum than to Woodward and Bernstein.
Ray Santilli claims he's just a businessman with
Is
absolutely
this the same mall George did the coffee interview at?
no interest in UFOs. Yet we have only this man's word for the UFO story of the decade. Santilli claims he's blown the lid off the Roswell saucer crash mystery. In 1993, Santilli says he was researching a music documentary, searching for footage of Elvis Presley, when a former U.S. military...
You think that's for because of to be kind? I don't think so.
cameraman sold him some footage that is out of this world.
That's her banking like community service hours.
This, according to Santilli, is film of an autopsy being performed on an extraterrestrial life form which died following the
It's certainly not kind to the viewers, so...
impact at the Roswell crash site. Santilli bought it, marketed it, and sold the rights to television producers around the world. It's already aired twice.
Television producer Edmund Stone purchased it, and it was a flop, and he went bankrupt and ended up becoming an orchestra conductor.
Here in the United States, stills taken from the film can be found on nearly 200 websites on the internet, usually accompanied by a lively debate about their authenticity. Is the film proof that aliens have in fact landed on planet Earth? Or is it an elaborate hoax?
As we sit here talking, I don't think there's a shred of evidence to suggest that the film is a hoax.
In a rare interview, Ray Santilli agreed to talk to Sightings about his motives, the film, and what some critics are saying about it.
First, let's talk about what some special effects people are saying. We've talked to two highly respected people.
Carla Wall, news trad, back in action.
One here in England, one in the United States, and both say that's a fake body. Not a bad fake body, but nevertheless a fake
I
body.
feel like this guy has the vibe of like someone that would have like, I don't know how to exactly describe it. I feel like he would have I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's the opinion of the,
I know what
that's
I
the
want to say.
opinion
I
of the
can't
special effects
articulate it
company
though.
that you visited and saw. However, you know, a special effects company can have you and I sitting in the car with John F. Kennedy driving down Dealey Plaza. That's the job they're in. They can recreate anything. I mean, recreating something and the event itself are two separate issues.
Amid the hype and promotion surrounding the release of this film were claims that then-President Harry Truman was among the witnesses at the autopsy.
No one has yet
What?
seen that footage. And in fact, the Truman Library says that there's no record of him being in that area during that time.
Firstly, President Truman is listed...
That's what he got kicked off of her show for taking his dick out on stream? Did he think he was going to get like a methadone bump out of it or what?
And one of the canisters as being there at the autopsy. Our cameraman confirms quite categorically that he was there. The Truman Library states that he couldn't have been there, he was somewhere else. Now, I don't know, you know, if the
Have you seen him on the film?
No, but if the event occurred, as we believe it did, and, you know, quite a few people have kept quiet, would the Truman Library actually have information that we could rely upon if it was such a secret operation? I don't know. But it is a discrepancy.
If this was such a top secret thing, how could a cameraman get 22 reels of film and it never be investigated and them not track it down? How is that possible?
That's an incredible story itself. He shot hundreds of canisters of film during the event itself. Each of the canisters or reels of film were 3 minutes in duration, and he separated during the filming reels that he felt were problem reels. He'd sent the remainder straight on to Washington, and he spent more time on the 22 reels of
Oh
film.
yeah, but when I told Ember that I thought that Justin was a snake, she was like constantly sweeping for him.
He'd processed or whatever. And once he'd got to the stage where he felt he could send them on, he called Washington and asked them to pick up the film, collect the film, and he tried on numerous occasions.
Jimmy Agro's divorced mom.
Who is this mysterious cameraman, and why did he wait 45 years to sell his film? Santilli says we may never know the answer.
Whether he decides to talk and you know, give his story to the public is something that's in his control.
Why not?
However,
Why not? I mean, wouldn't it clear everything up if he came?
in your mind and in the mind of the world and people that are interested in the subject. But, you know, this guy's in his mid-80s. He's not interested in the subject. That's the first point. Secondly, he's got his family to consider, and his family are his only consideration. He doesn't want to lose his pension. He doesn't want to lose his position in society.
But why would he?
Because
what's at risk by coming
Here's
out?
like
Your
one
media,
page
I'm media,
from
and as far as the media is
Bethany,
concerned,
look
this
at
is
all
a great
these.
story, and wouldn't it be wonderful if he came out, because it would really then be a really fantastic story.
I have a letter right here from Congressman Steve Schiff, and he
She sent like 10 messages and then she's like, trust me, this is worth a listen.
says that he offered to take the film to the U.S. government to see if they could authenticate it, and that, I'm quoting now, the Santilli Group has not accepted my offer.
I've never seen an offer. I've never seen that letter before.
Will you give it to Congressman Schiff, though, directly? Why not? I mean, why not try and authenticate it at this point?
We have a relationship, a contractual relationship with Kvyat Green and Fox, and it's up to them what they do with it.
Does that contractual relationship prohibit going to a congressman?
Let me just make one point very clear. I have no interest in the subject of UFOs or the paranormal. Okay, I do not have the ability to research or investigate the footage. Therefore, we appointed broadcasters in various territories, and the responsibility is with them.
Well, you have made no bones about the fact that you are a businessman, and that your business is marketing, and you've done a heck of a job marketing this film. I think you've probably made a bundle from it.
Haven't made, in terms of profit, we haven't made our money back by any stretch of the imagination. The ultimate aim...
Well, she's a trad wife, Daninsky. She's got a, you know, once she gets her chores done and whatnot, she's got some time to burn until she's got to be waiting nude at the door with a martini.
Commerciality, but we still have to get past that first hurdle. We have to...
I asked her how she was saying something about whatever someone on the Boyd was going through was just how things worked, and that God tests our bodies through our physical bodies. And so I asked her how many times that her physical body has been tested. And she told me that it just like that it was like Goldilocks, just the right amount.
Satisfy broadcasters, we have to satisfy the world of ufology and the general public.
But they haven't been satisfied in terms of the authenticity. So don't you have some obligation to try and do
You're
that?
at the very start of it. You know, it will go on. And once the film is deemed to be real or not, we can then decide, you know, how we're going to move forward.
Can you imagine being a grown man and looking at that video and saying, well, gosh, until we can get it authenticated, who can authenticate it? Who's the expert on aliens?
Early stages.
Despite Ray Santilli's claim that he has exposed the UFO
Ray
scandal of the
Santilli sounds
century,
like a Star Wars
most
character.
Roswell researchers are distancing themselves from the film. They believe that if and when the footage is proven to be a hoax, the serious strides that they have made in unraveling the Roswell mystery may also be called into question.
Next, does this man have the final word about the Loch Ness Monster?
What a lot of people don't realize is that the familiar Nessie image is only...
Oh, wow, here we go. You were probably starting to doubt the cryptids in the title of the video, but
Had gone to his
Sightings
grave claiming
delivers.
that he had faked the world's most famous photograph of the Loch Ness Monster. But now, New Jersey researcher Richard Smith believes that he has found evidence that Sperling's deathbed confession may have been the biggest hoax of all.
On the morning of April the 19th, 1934, Lieutenant Colonel R. Kenneth Wilson, who was also a practicing physician in London, was on a vacation in the Highlands of Scotland. And he claimed to have stopped his car along one of the shores of this immense lake, Loch Ness, and seen a disturbance in the water, and seen the head and neck of a large animal emerge, made some exposures of plates, went up to the city of Inverness and had them developed. And one of the results was, of course, the most famous of all Nessie images.
You could say it's the face that launched 1,000 ships. This is the most enduring image we have of the elusive Loch Ness Monster. The photo was judged authentic until last year. The newspapers reported it was a hoax. But Richard Smith believes he has new evidence that proves this photo is real.
Recently, there have been widely publicized allegations that Colonel Wilson was actually part of a conspiracy and that the object in the photograph is a modified toy submarine, which has a plastic wood neck on it. And these sensational claims were made by a man by the name of Christian Sperling.
Whoops.
Frankly,
Sorry.
Christian Sperling's story is full of holes that are big enough for a Nessie to swim through.
Christian Sperling
Valerian
was a
root.
confidant of M.A. Weatherall, who first gained fame in 1934 during his highly publicized but futile attempt to capture the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, what I was talking about is those little, like, when they did that presentation in Mexico, weren't they, like, really small? And I don't know if it was AI or not, but I swear I saw a video where somebody grabbed one of them. Like, you know, I don't know if that was real or not, though. But that was amazing, like, that whole Mexican alien presentation.
His failure, according to Sperling, he and Weatherall concocted a plan to take fake photos of Nessie and then switch them with photos their unsuspecting friend...
They switched a photo of Nessie with a photo of this man. Wilson Photo. Mr. Photo.
Wilson was about to develop.
The major claim is made that this
The story around Mr. Wilson Photo was about to develop.
alleged toy submarine with the neck on it was floated in a small bay. What a lot of people don't realize is that the familiar
Oh, of course. That's what iconic to me. Those little aliens.
Nessie image is only a cropped close-up taken from the original picture. The original picture clearly shows a wide central expanse of this immense lake, with the opposite shoreline clearly visible. It's not a small bay. There's also something which is extremely interesting and the public is not generally aware of, which is that Colonel Wilson was able to get 2 exposures of this object.
This second photo has rarely been seen by anyone except a handful of Nessie experts.
It's very important because the head and neck in this picture
I don't remember the backyard one, I don't think.
Out, unlike the first photo where they're at a right angle. And this shows that this object, whatever it is not made of unbending plastic wood, as Christian Sperling claimed. But what's even more significant is the fact that Christian Sperling apparently did not know about this photograph.
Is this photo real? It's an interesting puzzle, but according to Nessie investigator Adrian Shine, in the end, the photo is immaterial.
The Loch Ness Monster lives in people's minds and cannot be dislodged.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't matter how many photographs are
Yeah, you got to trust this guy. Is this Jeff Daniels?
Proved. It doesn't matter what the scientific implications are. The Loch Ness Monster is something which does exist and will always exist because people want it to exist.
The
In
Denver
recent months,
Alien.
The only sightings of the Loch Ness Monster have been on T-shirts and coffee mugs. Scientific research on the existence of real-life lake monsters has now moved west to the freshwater lakes of North America. Unlike Loch Ness, sightings on this side of the Atlantic are up.
Okay.
Join runners from all over the country at the marathon.
It's locked onto something big, and new tapes reveal air traffic controllers knew something was there. But what was it?
A pilot spotting an unidentified flying object.
A sighting special investigation, a close encounter in the clouds. Then,
I really feel this place should be served.
a renowned psychic detective joins in the search for 3 girls gone without a trace. The missing link. What startling new clues have been found? Next time on Sightings.
Discover a whole new world online with America Online, the easy, fun way to explore. To get your free 15-hour trial with no obligation, call 1-800-313-2222. Give it a try. Dentine Gum. In less than 60 seconds, Dentine's tingly taste will make your breath feel fresh and clean. Brush your breath with Dentine.
I'm mad at Nighthall. People who worried about sleep aids used to count me.
my God.
Now they feel
Be
safe.
contacted at America Online at keyword Sightings. At the Sightings forum,
Oh, is that it?
download images, sounds, and QuickTime clips. Also, join us daily in our chat room, live on AOL.
Until next time, remember, no mystery is closed to an open mind.
No trad box is truly closed to an open mind.
For Sightings, I'm Tim White.
Thank you, Henry Winkler.
It's not
I just want to say again, Grace Thorpe over the weekend, greatest thumbnail in the history of YouTube.
Typical morning show. It's live, it's wild, and it's totally original. Watch Fox After Breakfast, weekday mornings at 10 on Fox 43.
What do you mean, the new chat box? What do you mean, what happened to the live chats? Speak up. Speak up. Make your intentions clear. Fair Dinkman Productions.
Monday is Labor Day.
On this show, that can only mean one thing.
All right, hang on.
On this edition of Sightings, on a stormy night over New Mexico,
YouTube lives are the only chat boxes. What does that mean? Where people, what are you talking about?
crew of America West Flight 564
Speak up. Make your intentions clear. I don't know what you mean. You want to bring back the old school AOL chat rooms? Okay, Clarence. It was neat, but also like, again, I think the modern internet culture would kind of, taint it.
Sightings has the incredible untold story of a UFO.
I've got a pre-alteration screenshot of it
encounter at 30,000
before she put the no on it.
Was it the mysterious lady in black that saved Bob Davidson's life on that lonely
I
stretch of
imagine you click on that thumbnail, and then as soon as the video started, when I joined, she was just like, she was already crying. It was a very jarring transition.
Highway, or was it fate?
I don't know what happened here, but it definitely was a miracle.
Message boards only.
This man has created a computer program that just might make him the Nostradamus of our age.
I predict the most novel event in the history of the world, 2012.
And don't try telling Colin Andrews that crop circles are a hoax. He knows better.
Yeah, you hate to see it. I'm going to do a stream about it, but I'll have to do it over on Twitch. I don't trust her.
Welcome to Sightings. I'm Tim White. A declassified United States Air Force Security Service document contains a chilling statement. It reads, quote,
On Smellings, do they have the guy with the mustache, Peter, whatever his name is? Is he like blindfolded and just going around like, I can smell a spirit here?
sometime in his career, each pilot can expect to encounter strange, unusual happenings, which will never be adequately or entirely explained by logic or subsequent investigation, unquote. It's a public declaration of something many pilots have privately known for years. Even at 30,000 feet, there are UFOs. Recently, Sightings was contacted by 2 air traffic controllers, each describing the same disturbing incident in the skies above New Mexico.
I think it's safe to say that stream will have many suffa mishazed.
On the night of May 26, 1995. Here is part of one of the controller's message, as recorded on the Sightings hotline, electronically altered to protect the caller's identity.
Yeah, I work as an air traffic controller, and pilot of America West Airlines had seen an object between 300 and 400 feet long.
Through the Freedom of Information Act,
Spirit Sniffer Lorenzo Lamas is Spirit Sniffer.
Between a flight control center in Albuquerque and an America West Boeing 757.
Ben Franklin's here, the spirit of Ben Franklin.
We've been able to recreate a startling encounter between a commercial aircraft loaded with passengers and an unknown craft 6 miles above the Earth. The voices are real. The words are not scripted. This is the actual transmission recorded at the moment the UFO was sighted.
Yeah, off to our 3 o'clock. Get some strokes out there. Can you tell us what it is?
But air traffic control cannot tell America West Flight 564 what it is. The object is not on radar. The tone of the radio communication begins to change.
There's nothing on the radar on that object that's up in the air?
It's up in the air?
Affirmative.
No, no one knows anything about it. What's the altitude about?
I don't know, probably right around 30,000 or so, and the length is unbelievable.
Albuquerque controllers contact the military for an
That's what you want to hear.
Hannah, go ahead. Hey, do you guys know if there was anything like a tethered balloon or anything released that should be above tie band?
No, we haven't heard nothing about it.
Okay. Guy at 39,000 says he sees something at 30,000 if the length is unbelievable and it has a strobe on it.
Uh-huh.
This is not good.
Okay. What does that mean?
I don't know. It's a UFO, so...
It's right in time then. No, we haven't seen nothing like that.
Okay, keep your eyes open.
Foxtrot Kilo.
Listen, don't send a police presence, but just be on high alert. Its length is incredible.
Haynes is an aerospace engineer and aviation expert. For the last 30 years, he's been
sniffing something in nose alignment.
On pilot sightings of UFOs. His collection of pilot reports is the largest in the world. Sightings provided Dr. Haynes with the America West transmissions for his analysis.
In fact, where we initially spotted it, it was between the weather and us, and when the lightning, you could see a dark object, and it was pretty eerie looking.
Pretty hairy.
Well, the pilot...
It was pretty hairy, and the length was incredible.
The sighting again in a little more detail with air traffic control at Albuquerque. And he said that he saw a dark object because it was back illuminated. Basically, lightning in the cloud at some distance caused the
This guy looks like someone that Cadet Mahoney from Police Academy would have a humorous interaction with, and we'd get a laugh at this guy's expense.
He then said it looked eerie.
We have only Dr. Haynes' analysis of the event because all attempts to interview the America West crew were politely but firmly denied.
$3.5 grand.
There is no law that prohibits
Drop
them
a
from
eighth.
speaking out, at least not any written law.
They don't encourage you reporting it, that's for sure.
This man, a United Airlines pilot for 35 years, also had a UFO encounter at 30,000 feet. But it is only now that he is retired and anonymous that he's willing to describe his sighting.
When it was ready to leave, it departed at a very high rate of speed.
It farted. Wow. ATF media feasting.
He's willing to describe his sighting.
When it was ready to leave, it departed at a very high rate of speed, accelerating as it went, and disappeared off into the distance at speeds that I couldn't even estimate. The other crew members have never come forward.
Alitalia pilot Graham Shepard is also familiar with the industry's code of silence.
I seen a UFO.
A commercial judgment that pilots shouldn't speak about this. Unfortunately,
I was making a
fact of
pizza.
life that any
Oh, I thought he had an Italian name. Oh, he's just flying for the Italian airline.
or anything unusual about a particular crew
Never mind.
member will downgrade the potential of that airline to earn maximum profits.
Despite the airline industry's efforts to silence its pilots, these transmission tapes speak for them. After the New Mexico controller's initial call to NORAD was laughed off, NORAD called back.
We had someone call here earlier about a pilot spotting an unidentified flying object.
Yep, that's us.
Okay, well, hey, we're tracking a search-only track kind of where that might have happened. It's tracking about...
Hey, ATF Media, what do you think about doing a stream where we just watch all of the mom POV interview segments?
190 knots.
Just the
We've been
interviews.
tracking it for about 3-4 minutes now. I mean, to be going that fast, it's got to be up kind of high.
Yeah, you got no code on it, huh?
Nope, it's search only.
It seems that the radar controller was tracking an object, an unknown, that wasn't transponding. And by law, any craft in controlled airspace must have a transponder. But it's very interesting that ultimately it was seen by the radar controller.
This is an historic UFO event. Audio tape confirms that 3 highly trained commercial pilots witnessed an enormous UFO, a UFO confirmed on radar by NORAD Air Defense Command. This is one encounter that cannot be dismissed as a hallucination or a hoax. Something was up there. Are we prepared?
I knew you'd probably be down with them south to
I listened
west.
to the American West tape, and my opinion is that it's absolutely authentic. If handled correctly, this tape could be something of a breakthrough.
First time in 15 years I've ever seen anything like it.
Yeah, I couldn't. Somebody I think it's the actual company uploaded like a bunch of the interviews.
In Mexico City, a 5-year-long flap of UFO activity has commercial
Flap.
pilots running scared. There have been several near misses. Under the auspices of the Mexican Aviation Union, the pilots have formed a coalition to demand a comprehensive, government-backed investigation into the Mexico City flap.
Next,
Stacy McCall.
the night of her high school graduation, Stacy McCall and 2 friends disappeared. Sightings looks for answers.
Oh boy.
In 1992, 3 women in Springfield, Missouri vanished into thin air. Nearly every high-profile psychic detective in America...
Look at this lady trying to get some screen time. Shameful.
...tantalizing clues about the trio's whereabouts, but the case is still unsolved. Now, Sightings correspondent Carla Wohl accompanies world-renowned psychic Dorothy Allison to the scene of the crime to search for one missing link.
One missing link from Ruth Rafati.
I would say Stacy is probably the most bubbly, full of life young woman I've ever known. She was known by her long hair. When people would say something about Stacy, they'd say something about her long hair.
She is a daughter, a sister, a friend, a statistic. When Tracy McCall vanished from her hometown of Springfield, Missouri,
Oh, Springfield, Missouri. I was thinking Springfield,
family
Massachusetts.
tried to come up with a reason why this vivacious teenager would run away, because the alternative was too frightening to contemplate.
Oh, it's still unsolved?
Would this be the last picture of Stacy in the family album? This, her last appearance on home video?
Stacy Kathleen McCall.
When I graduated, I had 2 of my classmates get killed in car wrecks that night. And I remember sitting there thinking, I wonder how many of these young people will not be here tomorrow, not thinking it would ever be happening to me, you know?
What happened to Stacy McCall also happened to her friend Susie Streeter and Susie's mother Cheryl. It's a mystery that haunts their families, their friends, and Sergeant David Smith of the Springfield Police Department. For 3 years, they've searched for these 3 women.
You were thinking
ever since
Springfield,
graduation
yeah,
in
I wouldn't be too
1992.
far off.
We probably followed up somewhere around 4,000 leads. We've got about 14,000 pages of reports. We've talked to dozens and dozens of people. We've conducted around 200 formal interviews, and we're still no closer today than we were when this happened.
It would have been quite different if not for a simple change of
It
plans.
would have been quite
After the
different.
graduation ceremony, Stacy was supposed to join a group of friends for an all-night party in nearby
Wow.
Branson, Missouri. But Stacy decided to stay in town and spend the night at Susie's house. The next day, when Stacy's family tried to get in touch with her, there was no answer. The Springfield police were called to the Streeter house, to the scene of the most baffling crime in the history of this small Midwestern town.
When you first showed up at the Streeter house,
Carla
describe
Wall putting in work once again.
for me what you saw at the crime scene.
All 3 cars were there at the house, those owned by
Terrible shirt-tie combo, in my opinion.
Susie, Stacy. All 3 cars were
It don't work for me at all, man. That's a no for me, dog.
there at the house, those owned by Susie, Stacy, and Cheryl. When we went into the house, there were
Wow, usual sightings slobs. You're talking about the people who are sharing their real-life experiences with us for our enlightenment and entertainment. Let's show them a little bit of respect, okay?
that were owned by those 3 people. The beds were unmade as if they'd slept
Please
in.
show respect to people like Dick Cemetery that bring us this quality sightings content.
The television set was still on. A Venetian blind was open as if someone had taken a look outside.
Did any of you guys watch the UFO, the like dedicated UFO episode where we watched that like awesome UFO interview and then we watched the movie about the guy who painted the aliens? That ended up getting taken down eventually, but that was a fun stream while it lasted.
The front door was unlocked.
It got taken down like 6 months after the fact.
The porch light had been broken. The fact that Cheryl, a notorious chain smoker, had left her cigarettes behind indicated to police the possibility of foul play. While search crews combed the area, Stacy's parents made this televised plea.
Stacy, call home. Call home and let us know that
Phone
you're
home,
okay.
y'all.
But Stacy never called. The case remains wide open.
Stacy never called.
Sergeant, isn't
The
that
story
odd
of the
for 3 people to be
Springfield
missing
3.
and there be no clues?
It's very odd that 3 people would just vanish and we don't have a
Slob
lead to
mysteries.
follow, that would lead us in the direction that we need to go.
Enter Dorothy Allison,
Oh,
who
boy.
agrees to step into a case that has stumped several other psychic detectives.
Boo.
Dorothy is undaunted by the fact that so many people believe this case is unsolvable.
What kind of things are you hoping that Dorothy will be able to come up with? The most important thing would be to find where Stacy is. If she's alive, where she is. If she's not alive, then we need to be able to put it to rest. So I need to find her remains.
Hi, Sergeant. I'm Dorothy Allison.
Dorothy's psychic impressions in this
Oh,
case
boy.
come quickly. Before her arrival, she had envisioned many undisclosed details about the case and provides Sergeant Smith with a specific list of clues. The news is not good.
These are the things that people see when they're in a car. They're wondering where they're going. before they reach their awful
This lady enrages
destination,
me.
they are murdered, because I believe they're murdered. I do not believe they're alive.
Dorothy has made just one request of the McCall family. Dorothy, you asked for something of Stacy's, and the family has given me her keys.
Very good.
And also a ring.
Okay, that's both good.
Now,
Both
what will
good
you
things.
use those for?
I will hold them and try to get some feeling from her by holding it.
After her initial visit to the Springfield Police Department, Dorothy asked to be escorted to the scene of the crime. From here, she begins to look for the locations and landmarks.
Carla
on her list,
Waldo, or whatever her
hoping
name
they'll
is,
lead her
looking
to
good.
the 3 missing women.
Oh, I know they pass this way.
Her psychic list is remarkably accurate. We pass a chemical plant, a trailer park, and a nightclub. But traveling to the gymnastics center where Stacy worked, Dorothy gets her strongest psychic feeling.
This I use as my base as to where to look for them. And I would go and find a thick wooded area from here to find them.
What in your tummy tells you that this is right?
It's just a
What in your tummy tells you? What a statement.
feeling. I wrote down
I'm not sure I
all
see
the
all.
clues that I could find. And every clue, one led into the other, as you noticed today.
What Dorothy
They didn't have time to look into the storm theory or the prison theory because they were already bringing in a psychic, which was clearly the best use of taxpayer money.
didn't know is that Sergeant Smith had only recently received a tip from a railroad engineer who'd spotted something suspicious in these nearby woods.
Here thought he saw a gravesite, and I sent a couple detectives out to look at it a couple days ago.
Less than a quarter of a mile from the woods, Dorothy found the Ramada Inn she had written on her list.
Right up there. Yes, so we're on the right track.
There was also
How long
mention
is
of
that
a
new
royal or
Hannibal
theatrical name on
interview?
the list. The road running along the wooded area, Royal Drive.
I also saw some old cars, which I see up on the hill there. I feel this is the exact road he took.
And on this cold, rainy day, on the actual site where Sergeant Smith is due to search, Dorothy becomes adamant.
I really feel this place should be searched.
Oh, are you talking about this one here where he interviews Preston Dennett?
Up nothing, but this does not.
That'll have to be its own dedicated stream, I think. That one's like almost 2 hours long. I thought it was like maybe like half an hour. He was recently in Miami getting his next stage of his girth enhancement surgery done.
She knows this site is significant and believes more of her psychic
Let me-
clues need to be followed up.
Let me add it to my
I was a little shocked to see
queue.
some names and things that I recognized. Probably the police are going to take their own time and check out everything one item at a time.
In the meantime, the McCalls have begun a support group called One Missing Link, dedicated to helping others who have missing loved ones. It's their way of making
Her tummy is saying chicken nuggets.
something positive out of a tragic situation. A life with a beginning, a middle, but no end.
As a mother, I need to find out where my daughter is. We're a very close family, and this is like leaving a big empty hole right in the middle
How much for the cup? I'll have to let you know. I'm adding a second cup to my collection tonight.
of our life.
Since Janice and Stu McCall founded One Missing Link, they have helped more than 20.
Yeah, like why would you? I know why. Literally, is because he doesn't want to pay for it, and he thinks that he'll get it. He can write it off on his taxes if he does it for content. But I would just. I mean, why would you tell people that, especially if you're in Hannibal's situation? He's like, yeah, I wanted to do adult work, but I wasn't big. I wasn't big enough.
26 families deal with the disappearance of an older child. One Missing Link is located in Springfield, Missouri.
Next, the Chinese government plan to capture Bigfoot. And traveling to the stars at warp speed may be closer than you think.
Here are some of the stories Sightings is following in the news. In China, Bigfoot has a bounty on his or her head. The Chinese government is offering $60,000 to the first person who can bring one
What?
in alive.
In China, the largest scientific expedition ever mounted to search for Bigfoot has been called to a halt after only 2 months. According to researchers, no significant signs of the elusive creature known as Shay Ren have been found. But the failure of the expedition has not lessened popular interest in finding Shay Ren. In the past 70 years, there have been more than 114 Shay Ren sightings by 360 eyewitnesses. Although researchers downplay its significance, the official expedition did turn up hair samples of unknown origin in the Shandong Forest Reserve in central China. Bolstered by this tantalizing finding, the park is keeping independent Shay Ren research alive by offering a monetary incentive to would-be Bigfoot.
Oh my God, look how tall
Research
this
alive
thing is.
by offering a monetary...
Now, how in the world is this thing gonna hide? Can we agree to that? How would this thing stay in hiding? Good Lord, it's like... Jeez.
Incentive to would-be Bigfoot hunters. It's a bounty, the equivalent of $60,000 if you bring one in alive, $6,000 dead, or even $1,200.
Listen, only 600. Only 600 if he's dead.
$100 for authenticated droppings. In California, at the Loma Linda University Medical Center, researchers have scientifically proven the curative power of laughter. Patients who were given a steady diet of comedy had a 20% increase in the number of natural killer cells in their bodies, cells that fight disease.
Yes, natural killer cells.
Psychiatrist William Fry was part of the research team.
Your heart rate, as soon as you start laughing, immediately increases. What happens then is your heart rate increases, the blood pressure goes up.
That's why I like to get high and watch lo-fi and Boit content, because that's where all the good laughs are.
And as a consequence, all the nutrients and the beneficial factors in the blood are distributed much more effectively to the rest of the body.
The study also found that laughter can cut the level of stress-producing hormone by half and increase the level of immune system hormone, gamma interferon.
And those are all important aspects of the healing process. You don't just get healed by a medicine. In other words, we're looking at laughter as a way of helping people heal themselves.
The ongoing study confirms the age-old adage, laughter is the best medicine.
Are they saying that gun violence needs to be reintroduced into comedy?
Is that humor is contagious, laughter is infectious, and both are good for your health.
I'll sue you for this. Oh, superstitious, eh?
In San Diego,
Uh-oh,
the
San
Interstellar
Diego, let's
Propulsion
go.
Society is a new organization of rocket scientists whose goal is inspired by science fiction to go...
The Interstellar... Hold on, I gotta look this one up too. Don't forget, I'm getting involved in the secularizing U.S. community. Interstellar Propulsion Society. I mean, there's lots of stories about propulsion, but let's see. Let me add channel so it'll show me like a channel. No. Whoever these people are, they don't have an official YouTube apparently.
Where no man has gone before.
Star Trek provides a wonderful inspirational image of how we might one day travel to stars. First, we have to answer the question, can we and how can we?
Millis is an
She's probably
aerospace
drunk.
engineer who believes that future space transports
Or
must exceed the
hungover,
speed of
asleep.
light, and that in order to do so, they must have an entirely new system of propulsion. Our most advanced rocket today...
She also took a bunch of weed oil yesterday, so she could be like sleeping it off.
900 years just to reach the nearest star, with a fuel tank the size of 10 rail cars.
So we have to find some means of propulsion that requires no propellant whatsoever. Presumably some coupling between gravity, electromagnetism, and space-time so that you can push against a very structured...
This guy seems very trustworthy as well. Kind of has like, he looks like he would like, not that he would do well in it, but that he might think about entering like a Phil Collins lookalike
of space-time
contest.
itself instead of needing all that propellant.
One propulsion theory holds that the speed of light barrier can be broken if space-time can be shortened to faster intervals. What most
Certainly,
people
no
know as
problem on
warp
that.
speed. Millis hopes warp speed will be achieved in his lifetime.
It would be foolish to say, let's never go. Man has always explored in some fashion, whether it's
Saying, let's just not go, that's foolishness.
for monetary gain or for some reason, but nonetheless, we've always explored. So why stop at our heavens?
We'll have more stories from the news next time. Now, here's what's coming up on Sightings.
To this day, no one has been able to explain the mysterious woman in black who saved Bob Davidson's life 15 years ago.
It's an outright miracle.
Later, why all crop circles
Oh my
can't
God,
be
that was
explained
great.
as hoax.
XM Vibe says she shouldn't have gone to the doctor. It's going to be downhill from now. And ATF Media says, you think there's a room for her to go downhill?
According to a recent Time magazine survey, more than 1 in 3 Americans admit that they have felt an angelic presence in their lives. It's most often
Grace
described as a feeling or private vision of a brilliant, loving being. Rarely do these angels take on a solid form that can be seen by others, but when they do, as was the case for Bob
We're
Davidson,
in Warwick, Rhode Island.
miracles very often follow. Bob Davidson is a quiet man, given to reflection about his life as a husband, a
Perlman.
father, a volunteer firefighter, and the moment that transformed his life.
I don't know what happened here on this stretch of highway 15 years ago, but it definitely was a miracle.
In the late 70s, Bob Davidson
Who,
was at a
Grace?
personal crossroads. His career was off the track. Bob's
Did you see the thumbnail? She didn't look like she weighed 190 in the thumbnail.
father died unexpectedly and left behind
180.
only memories and his old wristwatch. At the same time, Bob's relationship with his daughter, Dory, was crumbling.
We didn't get along. A teenage daughter and a father, you know, we had our differences.
Bob had lost sight of what he wanted
Down home southern bar trad.
and what was important. On June 28, 1980, Bob decided to take a break from it all. He took off on his motorcycle and left his hometown of Mansfield, Ohio behind.
Being 7 months pregnant, for months I had dreams that something happened to Dad. I had a feeling that Dad wasn't going to be there to see my baby born.
In fact, Bob never did complete that ride. Near Indianapolis, a rainstorm forced Bob to pull off the road.
When you're doing 60 miles
You think it was
an hour,
photoshopped? In
a
what way?
raindrop feels pretty stingy on your arms.
Do you think she like put the real picture in the AI and had it like smooth out the? Because it didn't really look like it. It looked, but I don't know. AI is pretty good, I guess.
It hits.
Near the town
I
of
definitely don't think it was quote actually photoshopped because neither of the Thorpes are going to put in that kind of effort.
Indiana, Bob stopped to put on his rain gear. But the moment his foot hit the pavement, something horrible happened.
Maybe it was that weird stuff. You got to be at the right place at the right time, and I was supposed to get struck by lightning.
In a single instant, more than 1 million volts of electricity coursed through Bob's body.
What do you think, Daninsky? You're a Grace hater. What do you think? You think the thumbnail was real? Or do you think it was like AI made? I definitely don't think it was Photoshop because I'm not sure I don't think they would put that much effort in over just a thumbnail.
The trucker radioed for help. It was several minutes before paramedics arrived.
Thank you, South to West, for the $5, man. I appreciate that. That'll go into my dispensary fund. Dispensary liquor store fund. Look natural to you? I mean, I thought it kind of looked definitely had, it could have just been, honestly, the pose. It reminded me of that Fiona Apple music video, Criminal. It had like a real nasty, like raw vibe to it.
I mean, when we got there, the man was
But thank you,
great.
South to West. I appreciate it greatly.
No sign of life whatsoever.
The paramedics called for a medical helicopter, but it couldn't take off in the torrential downpour. Attempts at CPR were failing.
When I got there and
Oh
saw
my
this
Lord,
man,
Kim Cobb, the lobster woman.
where the lightning struck, it was actually smoldering. I mean, you can actually see it looked like steam coming out of the wound.
The stem on his father's watch had welded to the case. His shoes had blown off his feet. Bob had no pulse.
I think in the back of all firefighters' minds, you're saying a prayer.
Why are they covering up? Why are they hiding the identity of this man's mustache? Randy Niebert deserves to shine.
Randy Niebert believes what happened next could only have been the answer to his prayers.
The ambulance was a practically new vehicle, had power failure. Now, I don't mean just the lights went out on the
Very
ambulance.
raunchy, yes.
I mean, the ambulance went completely dead.
Very
Out of
classless.
the clear blue sky.
I think it's also because you know that like she probably didn't take a shower for the photo shoot, and that adds that like realistic, you know, kind of grime to the look.
A lady in black came in. She had a Bible in her hands. And I was in awe at this woman.
The medics at the scene recalled that the woman seemed to be from another era. She insisted on touching Bob and the ground at the same time.
That's when I said,
Well, if it is, I mean, good, I guess.
do what she has to do. Without even thinking about it, the words just came out of my mouth.
Oh, I see why they were censoring it now.
The woman in black began pounding Bob's chest with her Bible and speaking in a language the paramedics didn't understand. The emergency team watched in silence as the rain poured down on them all.
It certainly got everybody
with the rain
talking
falling,
anyway. It
everybody was
accomplished
soaked.
its goal.
She wasn't. She was not remotely wet.
Then, the gray, limp body, the man with no pulse, began to show signs of life.
She looked me right dead in the eyes and smiled. Not a word said. She stood up,
Rosemary Clooney.
walked around my sister, and walked away.
As suddenly and inexplicably as she'd come, the woman in black was gone. But the legacy of her visit remained.
It was almost like the sky was parting back. Everything was clearing up.
It's weird. His blood pressure started coming back up. They got a pulse on him. Color started.
Wouldn't you agree, though, since Grace has some kind of dark triad type situation going on, that she could tap into maybe like, what do witches call it? When you could, a glamour magic, where you can like just like, it can't hold forever, but she could have used her like dark triad glamour trad magic to make herself look good just long enough for Ben to take the picture.
Coming back into him, and no one knows where this lady came from or where she went to. It is truly a miracle. There's no other words to describe it.
No.
Outright miracle.
Not to create that thumbnail, but if you look at the okay, so Grace posted a couple pre-edited videos recently. If you look at those thumbnails, they're very Shabbatoni coded for sure.
Miracle.
But it would take more than one miracle to save Bob Davidson. He was in deep shock.
They didn't think he was going to make it through the first night, and then every day after that he made it, it was, you know, wow, this guy's still hanging on.
He was in a coma for 7 weeks, and it was during that time Bob believes he met his father.
I can still see him sitting under this tree, and it's the most beautiful place that you've ever seen. I have never seen any place like it on this earth.
And that makes you stop and think.
Yes,
well,
you
was
got
there
it,
with
Daninsky.
him?
Warlock glamour magic.
When Dad was in the coma and wasn't really there himself.
Evidently, it must have been heaven or something to that effect.
Remember, Daninsky, the fake freckle era?
I know if that's the place you go when you die, I want to go there.
By all accounts, Bob Davidson should not be here right now. But he is.
You shouldn't be here,
that his
Bob.
father left to him never stopped ticking. A reminder of the miracle that spared Bob's life and brought him back just in time to see his first grandchild born.
I named the baby after Dad. He's named after his grandpa.
But who was the
called him
mysterious
Nebuchadnezzar.
woman in black? Sightings found a possible clue to her identity here at the Acton Heritage Museum.
Acton having been the
Sylvia
a
Henricks.
spiritual center for many years. Perhaps some of that has held over.
What is now an empty field by a railroad crossing was once a religious retreat started by missionaries in 1859. It was a place for relaxation, worship, and reflection.
It was a generation that believed in maybe more than we do now.
Well,
in
too, haven't there been allegations of Grace making scandalous custom videos for people.
The spiritual powers.
I'm not saying it's true, but I feel like it's been brought up multiple times.
But on a windy November day in 1905, a spark from the railroad ignited a terrible fire that destroyed Acton's spiritual center.
The fire went so quickly that they didn't have any real opportunity to stop it, although they tried.
Is there a connection between the woman in black and Acton's spiritual past?
Fake
It's a
Chad
question
Girl
no one can
Freckles, hell
answer.
yeah.
But consider this. Among the displays at the Acton Museum is a Bible and a turn-of-the-century dress identical to the one paramedics say an angel wore on June 28, 1980.
I would just like to walk along with her and
Grace allegedly sold lewds and feet pics. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
tell her how much.
Oh my gosh, you know what really kicked off Bethadone? Was I sent her, I was like, did you see Grace's ridiculous thumbnail? And she said no, so I sent it to her. And there was nothing from her for a minute, and I was like, oh no, what's going on? And she sent me this message, and she's like, doing that, like, just that Bethadone rage voice, you know, like, that's what you call trad? Are you fucking kidding me?
I appreciate what she did and giving me a
And I was like, you don't understand, Bethadone. She dedicated a song and sang it to me. And she was like, are you serious? Have you forgotten all the times I've sang to you?
chance on life.
Bob Davidson wonders
I
why
don't
he
know
was
that that's what caused the alcoholic relapse, though.
visited by the mysterious stranger who seemed to save his life. Why was he spared when so many other innocent victims are left to die? It's a question he continues to try to answer every day.
Next, is 2012 the end of time or a new beginning? The answer from Prophet's
It really upsets Bethadone because I said that she was still covered, unlike Bethadone, who went on Ruby's stream uncovered. So that's why one is trad and one isn't.
old and new.
Ordinary space and time is going to disappear.
The mysterious 16th century prognosticator known as Nostradamus made several startlingly accurate predictions.
I mean, wouldn't you think everything would have to be relatively tame? Because she's got to know that a troll would send one in and then just blast it everywhere, you know? So I would think they're probably pretty tame. Unless it's somebody she feels like she can trust, and that can't be too many people.
Predictions about the future. His revelations coincide with the equally accurate predictions of a little-known 12th century Catholic priest, Saint Malachi. Both futurists included in their writing suggestions of an apocalypse sometime near the year 2012.
Yeah, you don't gotta tell me that, Cody Turbo. What constitutes a lewd?
Fire, flood, war, famine, plague, anarchy, the end of the world. These are the apocalyptic visions of history's prophets of doom. The most famous of these mystics is the 16th century French writer Michel Nostradamus. He made over 1,000 prophecies before his death in 1566.
Wow, 1,000 prophecies?
I believe the main reason why Nostradamus has been so popular is because he's been so successful.
Nostradamus accurately predicted the rise of Hitler, World War II, and the stock market crash of 1929. But one dire prophecy remains unfulfilled. Nostradamus writes that the head of the church will be taken prisoner, and his palace will go up in flames. Scholars have interpreted this to mean the dissolution of the Catholic Church. But
Okay, I found the Bethadone message where she sees the Grace thumbnail, and this is the message that she sends.
Okay, Mark, we have a bone to pick now. So, okay, you're gonna tell me that that's trad and I'm not? Answer me! Oh, it's totally fine if she's covered. The power of suggestion means nothing around here! That is so much more provocative than anything I've ever done in my life.
But Nostradamus was not the first seer to predict the end of the Pope and the Catholic Church. 400 years earlier, a little-known Irish priest named Malachi had an eerily similar vision.
He was on a pilgrimage
What do you mean she had every right to be upset? In what way?
to Rome in 1138 AD. And as he came over the final hill and saw Rome, he fell into an ecstatic trance. And his scribe wrote down these 3 to 4 word Latin phrases that came in sequence.
Grace and Bethadone are just different approaches. Grace is more of a infiltrator. Bethadone is more of like a, you know, full speed ahead. Grace is more of like a strategist. The scalpel versus the sledgehammer.
112 phrases. It was later understood that each phrase stood for every pope.
She
current
did
pope
say
that
that.
lived at his time, Sestilinus II, till the final pope of Doomsday. That is 112 references.
Ow, quit biting me.
We are down to 2 more in the list of Saint Malachi before Doomsday.
While Malachi was struck by ecstatic visions, Nostradamus claimed to see the future of Iceland.
Also, I thought it was funny that in the original threat, she says, we've got a bone to pick. Who's we? Her and who? Paul Mall? What's we? Her and Dandelion?
Died into a chalice of water. Their methods differed, but the vision was the same. The end of the church would mean the end of the world, and the end of the world would come soon after the year 2000. It's a dire prediction, and a date within our lifetime that has been embraced by modern-day mystics.
I mean a great change. I don't mean the 5-cent cigar.
Oh my God.
Medicare reform. I mean ordinary space and time is going to disappear.
Terence McKenna is an author and explorer who lives on the big island of Hawaii, where he awaits what he believes will be the end of the world as we know it. For McKenna and hundreds of people who have come to embrace his apocalyptic warning, the doomsday clock will run out on a very specific date.
I predict the most novel event in the history of the world in 2012. And for a conservative mind, that might look like doomsday, but it isn't doomsday. It's simply that we are moving deeper and deeper into uncharted territory, novel territory, and that's frightening to some people and exhilarating to others.
While McKenna's message is much like that of Malachi and Nostradamus,
Gorman.
his medium is decidedly 21st century. McKenna's crystal ball is a personal computer running software of his own design called Timewave Zero.
I believe that we have in fact discovered the structure of time itself.
McKenna developed Timewave Zero in 1970 after studying the ancient Chinese fortune-telling system known as the I Ching.
And out of that came a mathematical algorithm that obviously wanted to be a calendar. And when I looked at it as a calendar, I saw that it described the ebb and flow of change in history.
When McKenna placed the I Ching's pattern of peaks and valleys over the timeline of history, he made a startling discovery. When the I Ching system dipped, so did the fortunes of the planet.
Here, 1356, the Black Death, a third of the population of Europe, dies. And here, the culmination of the Italian Renaissance in 1492 with the discovery of the
Well, that
New
placement
World.
on American Revolution is... Wait, is it? Okay, never mind. I thought it was pointing down to that one. Okay, so the peak on each of these is what is the item, right? So the Crusades, relatively low body count, much like Trad Ember.
Over here, the American and the French Revolutions. Here's World War II, and here's us.
Because his computer system provides a remarkably accurate picture of the past, McKenna is confident it will prove to be an accurate picture of the future as well.
So the predictions of the past give us confidence that what it's saying about the future will also turn
I don't know that I'd rush to say that, Cody Turbo.
out to be true.
You think that Grace is more of a natural alcoholic?
December 21st, 2012, the time wave dips off the chart and into infinity. McKenna does not know what will occur on that date, only that it will be the most significant point in human history.
One of my guesses is that what we will discover in 2012 that will make this true is time travel. if technologies that could...
Yeah, and I mean, that's always the thing, right? Is that people feel like things have just kind of gone progressively more and more fucked up since then. So, yeah, time travel.
Move through time were developed around that time.
Grace is a snake.
It would
there.
explain why the wave could no longer give a linear description of the unfolding of events, because the unfolding of events would go non-linear at that point.
Nearly 500 years ago, Nostradamus predicted similar changes in the time-space continuum that would occur soon after the year 2000.
He sees a change in mankind, a new humanity, a new culture that ultimately leads to the human race leaving the planet Earth. They're living in the planets of the constellations Cancer and Aquarius. So when you look up tonight at the sky and you see
Grace
the
is
stars,
employable. Grace has specifically said on countless occasions that she will rope before she works a 9 to 5.
of the Aquarius constellation, you're seeing the future of humanity.
Don't paint Grace out to be some ambitious,
While many of his dire predictions have come
hardworking
true,
person.
Nostradamus never claimed his prophecies were irreversible. In fact, he once wrote, "The one who is reasonable can learn from my prophecies how to find the right path."
Next, if you think crop circles are fakes, listen to this man.
We have seen a whole new family, a whole new range of complexity of the patterns themselves.
Recent revelations that hundreds of English crop circles are the work of sophisticated hoaxers has damaged the reputation of dedicated researchers. But these seriologists are undaunted by
What's
the
this guy?
controversy.
What's happening in this room?
By studying the
That's kind of weird.
These seriologists has damaged the reputation of dedicated researchers. But these seriologists are undaunted by the controversy. By studying the hoaxed crop circles, they've learned the tricks of the trade. The fakes, they say, have made it easier for them to separate the wheat from the chaff.
I think hoaxers have taught us all a lesson. They have shown that you can back-engineer many of the features, but you cannot back-engineer all of them.
Crop circle researcher Colin Andrews is one of just a handful of full-time investigators determined to discover the source of these beautiful, enigmatic patterns appearing in crop fields from England to Australia.
This is so dumb.
We have looked at the techniques employed by hoaxers. We have, in fact, hoaxed
Like
them
if
ourselves.
it's from aliens, it's dumb, and if it's from pranksters, it's dumb. The whole thing to me is just dumb.
What happens every time, of course, is that
This
there
is another to me thing of even if they show that it's aliens doing this, like who cares? What does it
that she's
mean?
been there. With the genuine phenomena, the fingerprint of the spiral, that is the number of revolutions the spirals take from the center of the vortex to completion at the circumference, is also different. And the plants are changed
He's
at
waiting at the
cellular,
microwave.
anatomical level. This is a field of oilseed rape. It's a very brittle plant. By the lightest touch of the finger, you'll see the bruising that occurs on this. I've removed the hue from the plant, and the damage is evident for everybody to see. Well, if that plant, being in the upright position, as the thousands of them are in this field, received the energy of the crop circle constructor, whoever or whatever that is, this is what would happen. I mean, here's the plant being bent over beyond 45 degrees, down to the horizontal, and snap. We would immediately establish that a circle has been hoaxed by the fact that the plants will knuckle or snap off, just like carrots or celery. In the genuine phenomena, they bend over
that's
evenly.
trippy.
They're undamaged, and it is as if a steaming effect has occurred.
Andrews, an electrical engineer by trade, first became interested in the crop circle phenomenon in 1983. He was driving to work one morning when a strange pattern in a wheat field caught his eye.
I saw 5 circles forming a cross in a field below me, and it was absolutely fascinating. I'd not seen or heard anything like this before. The engineer in me was calling already.
Look at him looking out over his discovery.
Although crop circles
that
have
one's
been
kinda
cited
neat.
worldwide, more than 90% of the world's
no.
total have been found in southern England,
Too
within
that
40
one's too
miles of
complicated.
this circle, Stonehenge.
Earlier this year, Sightings provided Colin Andrews with a high-8 camera
Whoa.
to keep an ongoing
Sea
record
cuppers.
of new crop circle activity occurring in this region.
This is pretty much a typical day in the life of a crop circle researcher, responding to calls from farmers, police, that a circle has been discovered in a field. It certainly starts at the first thing in the morning, responding to those calls and to get up in the aircraft, looking for the patterns wherever they might be. John, where I think we would certainly like to get is north of Andover. This year is only the second year in 12 years
Wow,
that has seen a
private
downward
plane.
curve, but an increase in complexity of the patterns themselves. We have seen a whole new family, a whole new range of patterns. Many of them resemble galaxies, a series of circles and rings.
No, I don't like that
rotating as if they are
This one definitely not.
circumventing a central feature. As you
no.
tick off the list of possibilities, you get closer and closer to being obliged to consider that something
I don't know anybody besides you that watches Arn Anderson's podcast.
external, something which is intelligent, is actually placing them there.
Simply considering the possibility that crop circles are the result of non-human intervention has made
man.
Andrews and other Siriologists pariahs in the scientific community.
This is
I
so
think some of the
dumb.
media have put a funny tag on the subject.
But
and
put a
the fact
funny
that I
tag.
am now publicly saying that I believe there is intelligence involved here, as I think further distance my professional colleagues from me. So it is very much
ATF Media is a line producer on the Arn Anderson podcast.
a lonely life out here.
And while Andrews could once count on farmers for free access to their fields, now the farmers have had a change of heart.
This year, the National Farmers Union in Great Britain have offered £1,000 for information leading to the very first arrest of those people who are making some of these crop circles. So the attitude certainly has firmed up. A number of farmers have become really actually quite
Beth
aggressive
versus Grace. It'll be one of the afternoons this week.
and have now refused entry to many of the researchers like myself to actually conduct any work whatsoever on their land.
Despite irate farmers, mischievous hoaxers, and a skeptical public, Colin Andrews perseveres because he believes the answer to the crop circle mystery is within his grasp.
The research, I think, is reaching its final stages. We do have evidence that
You
the
could
phenomena
become like their
exists.
favorite regular
We
because
have
that guy really responded last time to your question.
some idea
the
as
host
to
guy.
whereabouts in the electromagnetic spectrum the
He
energy
really put
is
it
coming
over.
from. I think what we are left with now is to put into position.
I just feel like once you've seen one segment on it, there's never anything new. It's always just, oh, here's a guy saying that they can't fake it and why, and here's a guy that's, oh, that's old, here's how they're faking it now. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know. It's just not as relaxing as the alien abduction content or like even like the UFO sightings.
At the primary places we now know they're going to arrive, a very, very sophisticated surveillance operation. And we have
Cicero
to
is under
record
the
on
covers
high-quality
now,
television
like a
quality footage
shark.
the crop circle makers.
The serious study of crop circles is a classic catch-22 to prove that some crop circles are formed.
Well, that was on Eric Bischoff's podcast where he ignored that giant donation and then got mad at me about, and then what's his name crashed out on me about it. Conrad.
By supernatural forces, researchers like Colin Andrews need scientists to conduct controlled studies. But scientists won't do these studies until it's proven that the crop circle phenomenon is not a hoax.
If you've had a paranormal experience, please write to us at Sightings. Sightings can also be contacted at America Online at keyword Sightings. At the Sightings Forum, download images, sounds, and QuickTime clips. Also, join us daily in our chat room, live on AOL.
Until next time, remember, no mystery is closed to an open mind. For Sightings, I'm Tim White.
Wow.
Next.
On Sci-Fi, Dark Shadows.
Ooh, Dark Shadows. All right. I'm going to go. Thank you for hanging out. I'll probably be back this afternoon. I just got to figure out what I want to watch, but I appreciate it. I think these were all pretty much blockbuster Sightings episodes. I feel like they really came back strong. We got the mustache guy back. Pretty much every type of content too. We even got some cryptid content, Chinese Bigfoot. Conrad didn't crash out. He accurately identified a minority community of interested Fusion Gang members. Whatever. All right. I'll see you later, though. Thanks for hanging out.